Well, look what happened, during the breadlines of the Great Depression. I mean, Al Capone had to open up a soup kitchen, but he was doing it for political purposes, and he was also operating distilleries and beer businesses outside of the violation of the law. The problem is always our government. They're the ones who set up artificial marketplaces, artificial endowments, artificial taxation. The government is the problem. There is no problem with our society except the government. They're the problem. They're the sore. They're the cancerous infection.
Yes.
They're against our Constitution. They're against our founders. They're against our liberty. They're against our freedom. They want to be involved in your business. They want to take a percentage of your business. Everything is geared towards facilitating the government, which is international regime change, international vaccinology. I mean, the government is the problem. Our leaders are the problem. These liars and frauds, these cheats and scammers, these pensioners. This country is going to have to take control. I mean, not control, I mean, decontrol itself and give the power back to the people.
Hey, you were talking about that earlier. Did you see the Billy Carson and West Hub debate by any chance?
No.
Okay. Did you make that up yourself? Or, I mean, it makes sense. I'm going to start using that. But did you make that up, or where did you get that from?
Make what up?
The G-O means go backwards.
No, I was just thinking about the word God. I was just thinking about it. And from what I've read, there's a passage that says, do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law. Do is action, which is karma. So God is tied into action, not words. The belief is in the beginning was the word, and the word, manifested reality. So we have books and we have words. People who don't read books are unable to have these thoughts because they're basically just automatons. They're just totally interested in maximizing their pensions, maximizing their earnings, etc. And a lot of these people don't even want to pay taxes. We have an ethical and a moral problem in this country, and we have to withdraw from our international empire, and we have to, run this business like a business. We can't just keep throwing money out the door. It has to all go into making the bread and feeding the people.
Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on, because I read the Bible tonight, explain what are you understanding when you're reading? Maybe I'm not following.
I think the first example of go do is Abraham. I think he said something like lech lecha, like I go forth for myself, something to that extent. It's all about self-actualization and doing, achieving, accomplishing, trying, testing, which is being scientific. You have to live your life by experimentation. You can't live your life by words. If you do, you're part of the problem. And that's what these politicians and liars, these Democrat criminals are doing. And there's a lot of Republican criminals, but the biggest majority of criminals are Democrats. There's a lot of criminal Republicans, but there's a hell of a lot more criminal Democrats than there are criminal Republicans. I don't know any libertarian or fiscally conservative Democrats, but I do know a lot of libertarian and fiscally conservative Republicans.
Okay.
It's just basic education. So in the future, if we could cut the Department of Education, you might see a physics room on this fucking app for the first time. And you might see a cohort of people who can't afford to go to college or even in high school students. Education and studying is how we should be spending our time on this app. Unfortunately, we spend our time here essentially. I don't know. There's so many fucked up rooms on this app. Just go take a taste, just vulgarity and ghetto, bubonic, ebonics, room to room to room. It's unbelievable the way people act on this app. And really what they're fighting is depression and lack of education. They have horrible anxiety.
That people online, not necessarily on this app, but just people online in general, like just like this online generation is learning more about any subject, whether it's economics or social or whatever. They're learning more online than let's set a standard for everybody, and the standard is like the lowest common denominator for everybody, and that's our standard now. So schools are failing. People can't fucking read in a third grade level when they're in a high school. Can't do mathematics. Like, the education system is failing. But I feel like people or kids or teens are actually learning more online than they would ever do in modern public education. That's what I feel.
That's perfect. Then they take care of that.
I've heard of marijuana is dope.
Yeah.
Do you know what professional organizers charge per hour? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Pre-death or post-death?
Depends on where you're located.
I mean, yeah. So here, I have one.
200, 500.
I will tell you, I hired one. It's $250 for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's almost $100 an hour.
The going rate is $150 an hour.
Yeah.
I have a friend who comes and does it for free. He's a younger fella.
I had a friend who did that with my storage.
Don't count.
My friend was a Dutch guy who was very like anally retentive. I would just buy
How long did it last before you had to call him back?
It should last,
never
right?
ended.
Because
Because
it should
it
be
never
like
ended.
it should be more than putting things away. Like a professional organizer is also putting in like systematic use of your items and like where they go for them to be pulled out and put away. I mean, I guess if you're just like a lazy fuck and then like you never put anything away, that's like a whole different problem.
But they should also teach you how to stay organized, not just to take your crap and turn it into organized crap, but how to ensure it doesn't get back to its original state.
So what if you have a good imagination and you can imagine, like, you know, when society falls, you'll need all these things.
Yeah. So when we moved from Massachusetts to New York, the moving company came in, and the guy, I didn't ask him, but he said, "You've lived here 6 years, about 6 years." I said, "How the hell do you know that?" And he was off by like a couple months. He goes, "Well, the amount of clutter. I've been doing this for 30 years. I can just tell you how long someone's lived in a place."
Yeah, moving a house after 7 years was like brutal. I was like, what do we owe?
Oh my God, how many boxes? Like, remember you moved out of college, you could put all your things in the back of, like...
Or throw it in the
You guys are perfectly describing my current anxiety.
How so?
Thinking about selling my place in Indianapolis, and I have a whole house full of shit I have to figure out what to do with.
Yard sale.
I'll help you with that.
Yard sale.
Yeah,
You can get help. It's okay. One thing at a time.
I have a lot of shit here.
I'm in the same position, Jeff. In fact, we're heading down Christmas afternoon to my home so that we can pack up my shit because I moved here. And yeah, the plans for that home, for sure. I mean, it's very stressful. It's like a lifetime of things, right? And it's a home, yeah.
I mean,
You
that's
can
the
do it.
fucked up thing. It's not even a lifetime, but it's been house for 5 years.
Yeah, it's been here for 5 years too. I know. My ex kept bringing shit from his house when he moved, and I was like, I don't want this. I gotta go through all of it.
Do you know about Swedish death sleep? Anybody familiar with that?
Which one? Swedish what?
Swedish
Well, I just saw, I just
Wait a second. Let him finish. Let him
I
finish.
just read those words.
I still didn't hear what he said. What did you say, Nolan?
Swedish death cleaning.
Oh my fucking god! What?
Yes, we are doing a Swedish funeral.
Okay, Swedish funeral is sweet.
So it's a TV show produced by Amy Poehler, and it's something I guess they do in Sweden. When you're old, you're getting ready to die, and you have cancer and everything. These 3 people come in and they clean up your house, they organize it so the people who follow you won't have that to face, and you'll have a lovely ending. Swedish death cleaning. They have a psychologist, an
That's really
organizer.
humane. I feel like Sweden has it right with every.
So, a friend of mine who is
I mean, when you're one race and one culture, it's very easy to have your shit together.
he
Yes,
started
no.
a Swedish funeral.
Everything gets harder when you have brown people.
You bring your kids.
That's what you took from that? Wow.
What do you want?
Yeah,
And you bring the kids in.
because it's funny. What was the last question about kids or something?
No, we're doing.
It's a good example. We have 3 conversations happening.
No, we're doing something. It's similar to that, but it was described by a Swedish friend of ours called a Swedish friend roll, where you bring your kids in prior. You point out, okay, you guys decide what you want, like, because everyone thinks the kids are going to want everything, which is not the case. So they say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then you divide everything else into donate, sell, or throw away. And you do that so that when you die, they don't have to back up a dumpster to your house.
I really liked it when my wife died.
That's in this article. You should read the article in this week's New Yorker called Chaos Theory in the book section.
I really liked it when my wife died and all her girlfriends, went through all their things and just split everything up. It was really wonderful.
Did you take a few things like a photo she liked, her paintings?
No, they just split up her clothing and jewelry.
Okay.
I remember you talking about that, Billy. That's extremely touching.
It was sweet, and every now and then I see them wearing things, and they always point it out to me. It's really sweet.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I have hundreds of DVDs.
Billy, even the girlfriend you never had sex with?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
That's an empty category.
Right.
Wait,
No,
the
there's more.
Beaver girls are wearing this stuff?
Yeah, the Beaver Girls. Yeah. I just was hanging out with them in Washington, D.C. It was really wonderful. I spent Thanksgiving with a bunch of them. We know each other 56 years.
Didn't come to Florida, you dick.
I'm a dick.
Some woman was complaining.
I'm in a third-party perspective, relatively, to enjoy your perspective and my father's desire to avoid words.
Billy, I'm sure tons of girls want you. You're just
You are
sort of a guy.
you are certainly bored.
I think you should get on a plane and go back. Oh, speaking of
I never realized I was good
You are
looking.
certainly bored. You
Yeah,
went
guys are
crazy.
like that. I mean,
Some
Billy
guys
Tall
are like
alone.
Matt,
is
were you the woman who was complaining that Billy didn't come to
You are
Florida?
just consuming.
Oh, if Billy would have came down to Florida, I would have met up with him.
We do more than meet up.
Complained he didn't come down there.
That we were
You
going to do more
aren't
than meet.
creating, you're just
I would
consuming.
Oh, gee.
Were you guys
Let
gonna
me, let me go get some new sheets today, Billy.
There's no Buddhist
American honeymoon in Key
could
West?
be you.
Oh,
Plastic
It doesn't
sheets,
matter.
plastic.
ew, Jacko. This is old.
It's true.
Actually,
There's no
we could
Buddhist
get a
in you.
direct
He
flight.
doesn't even know it.
Out of
Sorry.
Mount Vernon, straight down to Key West. That would be
You're not
awesome.
creating, you're just consuming.
Said plastic.
Plastic sheets, lily oil.
That's weird.
Like rubber sheets.
You aren't creating, you're just
Damage your-
consuming.
Well, you need something like that.
It's true, he's more Buddhist than
Oh
you.
my god, you
He
guys
doesn't
smash
even
this
know.
stuff.
They make a sex card. They're really sexy. They make it all
Third
different
party
colors.
perspective,
Some have
therefore
velvet on
between your
them. They're really
perspective and
important if you're a
his
squirter.
other's
Get a
desire
sex
to it,
card.
and he doesn't even have to think about it.
I mean, why do you want to grab some nasty towel at the end of a doggy pad? Right.
Dilemma solved.
Billy, I could just settle down at that.
Put a towel and a pillow on the front. That's how you do it.
But Billy, I can only imagine plastic sheets and baby oil and us sliding off the side of the bed.
Stop thinking, man. You're zombie.
So you don't get the baby oil on the cotton sheets. That's all I was trying to say.
Sounds like fun to me.
That turned into squirting.
You could wash the sheets.
Yeah, it's gross.
Love, sex should
Just
be
to wash
messy. It shouldn't be neat.
That's true.
I do have a big shower. We can figure that out.
There we go. Now you're in the spirit.
I like a bathtub.
I don't fit into a bathtub.
The side of the hot tub. Just saying.
There we go. Elle, baby, how are you?
Hello, this side.
Good morning. Good morning.
You look great as a dark-haired chick too, by the way.
Oh man, I mean, have to rethink my whole existence.
Either way works too.
My ex-husband and I were making out in a hot tub, and I jumped up on the side, and this thing was under construction, so the deck was missing, and I fell right through the hole onto the ground. He's like, "Are you okay?"
I was so. No, I was too drunk to care. I was laughing so hard.
That's cool. He didn't bother you.
No.
Okay, Billy, you won't fall through anything if we get in the hot tub. My hot tub, you just get up and walk into the house. Okay? There's a patty.
All right, good.
That's one thing I cannot wait for is a hot tub. Hey, Gary! Hello! Gary, how are you?
I was just in my hot tub.
Hello, but I guess I was just imagining things and I wanted to say hello. Also, trombone players have to empty their valve and let out the condensation.
Oh boy,
Hillary, for all that, tarp reputation that trombone players like me can use for sure.
Well, we can use that too. Instead of making plastic sheets, just throw down a big old tarp.
Billy.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Come from?
I'm so sorry.
Where's
You don't have.
Boah, Digga, meine Ohren. Ey, kennt ihr das, wenn ihr nach Hause kommt und eure Ohren an? Wegen Kälte und dann das ist ein geiles Gefühl, ja. Geiles Gefühl, sagst du? Ja. Also wenn das so, wenn die Ohren auch so rot werden, meinst du? Ja, komplett. Ich verstehe das halt. So wie wenn meine Hände. Oh,
It's like the next vacation at Death's house.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Nobody uses my pool or the hot tub, so if y'all want to come visit and we want to use it.
When I come visit, you gotta get rid of it.
Umir, tea?
Fein.
Who's fine?
4 Jahre lang Englisch geredet, Digga.
From where?
The porn industry.
Oh, yeah. Porn has always been at the forefront of technology. First payments made online were for porn. First images sent were pornography.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that they were forward.
I think one of the first uses they found for electricity was to create a vibrator for women. Like, no, I'm serious. Like,
That's hilarious.
Humans innovate and create out of curiosity for how the world works, but they are still basic animals, and the primary goals of food and sex are still there. Technologies with food are also elaborate. Like, think about bread just for like a second. We take that for granted. We genuinely don't know who invented bread. And that is a technology. Someone was fucking around with a lot of different food for a long time to figure out bread. Let alone cheese and all the other crazy stuff we figured out because we're interested about stuff we put in our bodies. And sex. So when it comes to technological agreements between people, right? Because that's not, we don't need that for food. We just need to manage the food. When it comes to the negotiation part, money, contracts, technology, the internet, porn.
What do you get?
Yeah. No. When we create like perfect robots that we trust, people will be having sex with them before we have them in our homes.
I mean, that would be the end of humanity, really.
No, I don't think so. It'll be maybe the end of slavery.
That's true.
Right? All humans ever wanted is like something that would do everything they told it to.
But then you will have another, a huge rise of functionalist movement to claim that there's there's a ghost in the machine.
Oh, you think someone's gonna pretend that the machines have rights?
Yeah, of course.
That's nonsense.
Are you kidding?
Straight up nonsense.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Well, it's the same nonsense as boy can become a girl. But look at it.
That a boy can become a girl. Yeah, so if someone wants to give a robot rights, they can. But everyone else say that's stupid.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one.
Same thing for like people that change their gender. The majority prevalent view is, okay, that's crazy. Guess it works for you. People really care. Seriously, they're just saying that's another thing another person on this planet is doing.
Yeah.
But Michael, I mean, you cannot deny guys, we can play the numbers. We can say like the majority of the humanity does not accept the point of view, blah blah blah. But the cultures that are the most advanced and have the most reach are the ones who are pushing the type of agenda. So they will be the same type of dealers. That will be the most advanced societies who have their fingers in every single part around the world, and they'll be pushing their own agenda and demolish.
No, I'm saying that once we develop sufficient artificial intelligence and robotics technology to replicate human activity at a speed faster than humans can anticipate the changes necessary, right? The AI, right? We get actual robots, and then they just do as we tell them. And the robots make more robots, and the robots make enough robots that every single person has exactly one robot, right? And then, of course, rich people, they have infinite robots because they're rich, but whatever. Everyone has one robot. At that point, what exactly can anyone complain about? Just like from the knowledge of science, farming, right, shelter, the amount of effort it takes to create a sustainable life for a few people with one capable worker that never tires.
Yes,
Sorry, but like that's the end. There's no.
We need this. This is the danger of it, like exactly the way we put it. So, you know, if we create something that
outpaces dangerous,
outpaces our needs and wants, that is where the stagnation comes in. Because we need the struggle. We need to fight against something. We need to change the environment.
Because they're just gonna like sit there and do nothing because they're fed.
And if that is like taken out of the human experience,
also let me
become blunt
against your communist or anti-communist reasoning.
That's what
anti-communist says they should do anything. Let them sit on their ass and do nothing. They've got a role of making them a net positive for humanity. Why should they do anything?
Wait, why should he do anything? Like that? What's your?
He's saying he's terrified that if I create a perfect robot that's able to care for every single human on the planet, I make those things, then all the humans will be weak. And then I say, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think humans are curious and interesting. They'll do other stuff. But let's say it is true. Let's say a sizable portion, 20%, 40%, decide, fuck it all. I'm going to sit on my ass. I got the robot. He's making food for me. He cooks it. He plants it. He grows it. He's got shelter for me. I'm comfortable. He talks to me, and he gives me books. He walks over to the library and gets me books. I'm happy as a pig in shit.
Please don't scroll.
Who the fuck is he to tell me I should get up off my ass and do something?
No,
I
don't think that I should.
I agree with him though. It's going to it would not only impact that person, but it would impact people around. It would have a public effect. 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees of separation away from that person.
I do not agree that the person. I agree with you that the person would probably feel a lack of meaning in his life, right? If he wouldn't have really a job, it would all just be voluntary. But I don't agree that nature should stagnation. I think that usually happens more like.
We saw this during the pandemic.
So, Michael.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people do a lot of interesting things. We saw interesting nothing.
Most people did nothing of human-made sourdough bread.
The reason I brought stagnation
a lot of videos
into this equation because of the premises that you said. And the premise is that technology is outpacing our needs and wants. If it's outpacing, then there is stagnation. Because before you even think of something, it's already at your fingertips. And if it's already at your fingertips before you even thought about this, then you have no incentive to
okay, but then what would be the final frontier of all of the questions?
The final frontier is going to be this. There's going to be, the mass population of, floating blobs. And then there's going to be a small group of people that are going to be nativists or naturalists of some sort who's going to, be shunning technology. And this is in itself going to be almost like a dangerous movement because they're going to be religious about this. Like that religiosity.
Technology, that's dumb.
It's not dumb. It's
not.
It's like the definition of dumb.
What is dumb? Because what is dumb is
They call it being a Luddite.
just giving an incentive for people to to become those type of floating blobs. It's a suicidal basically mission.
You're saying it's suicidal to be productive and effective efficiently.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's a straw man of what I'm saying. I said exactly what I meant. But with the premises that you give, the result is stagnation, and that is not something that we should be striving for.
I don't agree that it leads to stagnation because I think it's more. I don't think that human nature is a reflection of some kind of internal pain of desire or need. I think that human nature is more foundational than that, and I think that like capitalism, like the current iteration of how we lead ourselves to technology, I think that is strung along by need, and there'll be like a transition process where people stop doing that. But like, I don't think that humans cannot function with.
You can only. So, but if you take it to the nth degree, what I'm saying is, if I'm gonna accumulate, if this is gonna accumulate me, or the average person, everybody essentially, $50 million in wealth, then what is everybody going to do with that $50 million in wealth?
Exactly. It's the same.
They already.
Yeah.
No, they don't already do that. There's people.
No. I'm asking what do they do?
Wait, sorry. Wait, hold on. What was that mix said? What's your response to that?
I'm saying, what do people do with their wealth? People, granted, they don't have that much wealth, but they do have wealth today. And what do they do with it?
They strive for more because there's an opportunity that more does more. But $50 million won't like it's not. There will be a cap on what like the desire goes away.
Okay, so Matt, if what you're saying is true, that even with the wealth that we have, right, I've got air conditioning and heating and all the wealth of the modern world, with that, you say we seek more. So the same would be true if I gave everyone a robot.
So
yeah, but more. No. When I say more, there's two
robots in every.
Hold on. When I say more, there's two lanes in the highway. One is more is acquiring more assets, and doing more. The other is there's a large part of this, a big lane, the second lane in this highway, where there's this strive to accumulate more capital in order. It's getting to lane one. It's getting more in lane one to be able to move to lane two.
So we have already seen what that type of it is a resource redistribution scheme essentially does for human nature. Okay, we had a very large experiments in the 20th century, and what we have actually noticed sociologically is that people, once they have this type of uber safety net that they can receive regardless of their input, like the basic needs that they can have to survive, they stopped producing. The greatest period in that system was literally called stagnation, because everything was stable. Nobody really wanted to do anything about it, and people just felt comfortable. They felt comfy and had no incentive to do more or struggle. Or it has nothing to do with pain, by the way. That's not the thing that I would push against.
Stagnation with.
It has to do with
our minds are not going to expand. We're going to play more pickleball. We're not going to read more literature, right? Our minds are not going to expand.
Pickleball is reading literature. I think they're the same. And that's what we'll do.
No, it's different. It's different. It's different. It's not a bad thing, but it's not. It's not.
Self-hypnosis, the other
it's a part of the pie. There's a pie. There's a pie that needs to. The whole pie needs to grow, not just a slice of the pie.
Yeah. So the ultimate goal of the socialist system was a society of citizen philosophers who, in their spare time, create beautiful pieces of art, poetry, and and read a lot. This is not what happened. What that actually did is created a society of alcoholics who are looking for the quickest and the dirtiest way to to produce excitement for their senses and be done with it.
Yeah, but that's just what you're describing are different cultural problems. It's not systemic to a world without greed.
Can you expand on that? I don't know if it's certain what you're
It's a Broadway play right now.
I'm trying to say that unless we put a levy on a debt responsibility on people's basic needs, if we don't do that, then they won't engage in the good behaviors they should be doing for their own satisfaction, right? Working every day as part of a collective to make the world a better place, right? They should be doing that. But if I give them everything they need, they won't fucking do that. They'll just like show up and say, here I am, give me all my food and leave me alone. Right?
So there's two things. One is,
it's not binary. It doesn't function as binary. That's the only thing you can do.
I'm not presenting this about
I think what you're saying the main difference between what the percentage that humans contribute towards that would go. So right now, let's say it's 50-50. Right now, it's actually like it's 95% people and 85% right? And what you're saying is the 95% goes down and the 5% goes up to the extent that maybe it goes so far disproportionately the other way. It's 95 robotics, 5% humans, right? And so therefore we're achieving the 100% societal potential. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's for the human side. That's compressing it down to a level.
Joey Reid?
It is good.
Andre and I are discussing the economic effects on the psychological state of a person. And Andre is thinking that psychologically humans need food and rest and shelter. So if we withhold those things, we can get them to engage in any kind of behavior we want. Right? So then he's saying
more than that, I believe.
So right? He's saying we got to withhold something they do, and they've got to do it. So then what do we do? That's behavior, right? A job, society, whatever responsibilities we say, why? It's healthy things that you need to argue with, then we always might get engaged in humane lifestyle choices. Is to oppose this. I don't think that's okay, if he's not saying that, then he should not be concerned at all. When I take away, I give people everything they need, everything they want, and I tell you, I will still get the things that happiness in life. And I can do it to other happiness. Everyone is saying what they need.
That's okay. So, Michael, this is only incorrect. So, what I'm saying is about the results, unprovoked results of your utopian vision. And what I'm claiming is that the type of goal that you're setting up is unnatural in its essence, because it goes against what makes a human human. It's the same argument, I think. What's his name? He was a famous socialist of the end of the 19th century.
It makes a man a man.
Defector. So it goes against the nature of trying to basically battle against the environment and having an incentive to do things because you have needs and wants that are not fulfilled. And the premise that I'm going by, once again, correct me if I'm wrong, you were saying that you want the type of technology that outpaces the needs and wants of each individual.
Yes.
Okay, so that would create a natural environment. Negative effects on it.
No, I don't think it's unnatural for humans to have it.
Let me ask you a question, Andre. Over time, I could argue against your point in that this is a spectrum, not binary, and that over time we have progressed on that spectrum. from zero, where we're striving,
Security,
as you say it, to maybe we're at like
yes, it's very
15
good.
on that spectrum, right? Like we're not where we used to be. I think also, right? There are people, right, depending on economic needs. Not everybody's right. There are people that are right on various places on the spectrum, and then surely there's an average. So I guess my devil's advocate, propose, question to you is, do you acknowledge like we're on it's a spectrum, we've shifted already on that spectrum. It's just a matter of how far is too much.
Oh crap, Mike left.
He left. But I agree with holistically, it's going too far on the spectrum is detrimental.
Well, yeah, I mean, like what we're basically trying, there is a piecemeal type of approach in terms of social engineering. I despise the general concept of social engineering, but I think it's necessary, like at least in the most minimal amount, it's necessary because each culture is essentially doing some sort of social engineering in order to reproduce itself. So that's okay. So as long as it goes that far, that's fine. But when we are actively engaging in taking away or giving. Oh, sorry. One second.
That's better.
Can you hear me?
Yep, better.
Yeah. So what I'm basically saying that social engineering of is necessary. Like it's not that I'm saying we can completely get rid of it, because each society is trying to promote its own values, reproduce itself. That's one of the necessary evils that we cannot get rid of. But when you proactively starting to engage in trying to change the very human nature, is what totalitarian or authoritarian regimes do. In fact, they try to create a new type of human being in order to fit in the utopian vision. I think that is extremely dangerous. And I think what Michael was proposing is in line with that type of thinking.
Are you in America by chance?
Yeah. I'm in the South.
Yeah. Some would argue, not a very popular take, but there is and I don't necessarily believe this, but there is a theory out there that how complex and how bloated American healthcare system is, right? It's almost 20% of our GDP. It employs tens and tens of millions of people in the private sector, in various health plans, and in various middlemen, right? Again, it's not an excuse by any means. Let me just start with that. It's not an excuse, but there is a small group of people that think that if you can't just quickly blow it up because of the impact. It's a slightly different conversation, but yet maybe you can bring it back to relation to this conversation, that if you blow up the whole thing, you have, again, this is different. It's more of an unemployment issue, but it's going to have detrimental impacts to an outstanding portion of individuals in the U.S. economy. It's a lot different. I admittedly just trying to think if that relates in something that's happening in real time. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a very bad analogy.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're trying to get at. Basically,
but I mean, social engineering. Let me just finish real quick, and I'll land right here by just saying, from a social engineering perspective, as it relates, right? There are jobs, and people are going about their day to day. And again, I'm not saying it's not an excuse for why prices are so high and why the system is so complex and why people are bankrupt, because of medical bills. I'm not saying that it's a necessary evil by any means. I'm just saying, though, there is a contingent of people out there that are saying, hey, if you do blow this up, though, is this a social, construct that we need to be maybe is so big that we need to just be aware of. I'll pause there.
No, absolutely. I think I understand what you were trying to get at with the healthcare, and I mean I'm going to try to stillman at least one of the positions I think that you were talking about. And stop me if I'm getting it wrong.
Sure.
So one of the things that you're saying is that there's so many people who are dependent and engaged in the industry itself that any sort of radical change would create such a horrible effect on their livelihood, job market in general.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Tens of millions of people.
Millions. Yeah, that's right. So the piecemeal approach to that would be, as in terms of social engineering, would be a slow transition into something. Now, I don't agree with. Even though I admire her sternness and her principles, Margaret Thatcher's approach to the coal industry, for example, in England, like a famous example. There needs to be some sort of pathway of moving people out of the industry, creating incentives in different industries, and slowly kind of trickling down the negative effects of it. But I mean, it's only becomes a question of degree to which you are interfering into the natural process. Because like a more libertarian-minded person will say, fuck it, just cut it off. Let people figure out. The ones who can swim will swim. The ones who can't will drown. That's just that's the survival of the fittest. But I think we are past that point where we require those type of methods, and they are appropriate for our sensitivities. Some sort of like social moral.
Somebody kicked me out of the room.
We all understand that we all have a final point where we all end. Where do you want to be when you end? I think is the question.
Nope. You're always here right now.
What's your name?
Santana.
Or be in the arms of a beautiful woman.
I'm going to give you better advice, Matt. Go and get a box of cereal, get back into bed, grab yourself whatever you want, a Gatorade or whatever.
We're back in the deep state.
Continue to work as we tend to it.
Scott is leading the deep state.
Continue to make it better through evolution, not revolution.
But Scott, can I just say one question? Which is, I don't know if is it, don't blow it up, but change, maybe I guess it's argument about blowing it up altogether versus incrementalism. I think some people would be centrist and say, yes, things need to change, but you can't blow it up. You'll sow more chaos and cause more harm if you blow it all up without a solution in between.
Right, that's the fundamentally conservative nature of the argument, right? And I think what's hard is Democrats sort of being on the conservative end of the discussion, right? Being for the preserve, steward, protect, as opposed to.
They kicked me. How did they know? How did they kick me? Oh my gosh. That sucks. There goes that burner account.
Maybe it's what this.
I'm hearing from a man and then him being Hispanic don't hurt either.
I think he's in the military. He's got a lot of the median American voter likes. Yeah, he's good. He's all right. Yeah, he outran Harris in Arizona by I want to say 10 points. It was crazy.
Nah, because I was in the conversation.
Deep State Patriots.
My bad, y'all. This women got bad. Give me a second.
Bro, thank you. Shut up. These niggas is talking about some shit. Shut up. We'll talk later. Hey, who got a battle?
Hey, you guys have a lot of fun stuff going on in the city this weekend.
Who, me or you?
No, you. So I just spoke to my friend in that region, and he is like, there's a ton of stuff he's taking his kids to, some Jewish events, and then some just fun, like, stuff. They're going ice skating, roller skating.
Yeah, for kids. But I have an adolescent.
Yo, how old? If you don't mind me asking, because I'm a brat. Oh, that's not a brat, that's an adult.
Yes, it's very good and blessed.
Well, she's 19 currently,
Oh,
so
it's
she's
very
technically
good.
still an adolescent.
Dude, I got kicked out of my house when I was 17. Like, what the fuck?
Is this the Oppression Olympics?
Yes. I have it worse. She doesn't want to spend time with
Dude,
me.
I was 17 in 92. This is 30 years later, and y'all are being like, put him in the corner, give him time out. Y'all pussy bitches.
Okay. Well.
Pussy
thank you for your
bitches.
parenting advice.
If I was in Canada, I would have just traveled north to their country and done some sightseeing.
If you were in Canada, where it's already cold, you would travel further north where it's more cold and fight with bears? So,
I have no reservations about the weather.
okay. Well, good luck with that.
Or just hop on a flight to Florida. One of us will pick you up.
I am going to be doing that.
And from then on, you'll be called a snowbird as you're like banging.
Stop. No. Not a snowbird. Not yet. If I were to be a snowbird, I would go to like Australia for their summer. I would be going out.
I mean, I got somebody offered me a marriage down in like New Zealand. You know, not
You
really.
should take them up on it. New Zealand's a nice place.
There's no him in it. What the fuck you say him for?
Oh.
I ain't kidding.
Her. Her outside.
Fag. What's up?
You called me.
Well, dude. No. But, dude, I grew up, dude, like, listen, dude.
I'm not.
Listen, dude, when I grew up in the, like, the beaches of Florida in Brevard County, and I'd go surfing, I don't care if you were a girl or a guy, but like, yeah, what's up, dude? You got, like, that looks like a nasty little rip right there. You want to go hit it? Like, yeah. Like, dude, come on, let's roll. Bro, come on, dude. That has nothing to do with man or what.
And I said you were going to do it. That's the difference.
Well, I mean, the way you say it, it sounds like an elephant's, hair on his ass.
Okay, John, how many beers have you had?
Not enough to not remember what the fuck I was doing yesterday.
Okay.
What did you do yesterday?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Drinking an undisclosed number of beers.
Oh, I can tell you, because I can have any beers I ran yesterday.
Do you keep a spreadsheet?
Mary Catherine!
No, I have a personal assistant that takes care of that.
Perfect.
But what are we really talking about? Like, is it like, bust on dog?
Mostly
sex.
Sex is
Wow.
Are you into theirs?
Wow.
Dude, like your whole life, like you're with a woman in behind a closed in a behind the closed door situation. You are literally behind a closed door with a woman in an erotic manner. Maybe if you're really got a good strong libido.
Say it slower. Say it slower, Don. Say it slower.
Yes, go on.
I'm thinking.
If you have a really nice libido.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe like behind a closed door as a man and you're very virulent, like you might be 10% of your relationship in that erotic way behind a closed door. But the rest of your time is 90% of learning how to be a fucking man, son.
Yeah. It's not, if you're in prison or the military, it's not gay to occasionally fuck a guy.
Well, as long as you don't make eye contact.
I mean, those are special circumstances.
Or if you need to travel to see a man.
Everything is going to be finite. You know, don't take life so seriously. None of us are going to get out of life alive.
Ooh, they're actually redeveloping that lot. That's exciting.
But some guys are critically
I said, bro, nigga get outside this shit, fool. Well, I don't give a fuck about no jail time, bitch. I literally do that. Literally. Did your pop out though? Need to check my pizza out. I'm on the road, fool. The Garfield of San Antonio cut you all the way up last night? I had to leave. He was beating you bad though. I left. That's why Garfield stand on me right now. Icelandic women would do it.
You say Icelandic?
Icelandic.
It's fucked up, Joe. Sorry. Diego went silent on me, man.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, I won't use that again. Yeah. Put that in my notebook. Sorry, distractions in the home. I thought it was my comedic timing.
به همین میگن فحاش، ولی بعد از 2 سال ما میبینیم
How dare you try to tell me
I'm gonna tell you that example is wrong, did you say?
No, you said it was like too complicated. You were like, no, this is too complicated.
No,
Up here. I want to hear you whine as a man. Talk about you to the hill. Don't try to get back in either. Marley, stay your ass on the sidelines. That's not my bad.
No, Trey, that's valid. I just had to make sure. I had to protect my just to make sure that it's not like a straight drop. Because sometimes, you know, a candle that just slashes right through the price. It confirmed that it's still good.
That's what I'm doing, my bro.
You cannot deny anything. I mean, you cannot deny anything because there is only one thing that you cannot deny. That is why there is no denial of anything.
Yes, see, if you take it this way, avidya, even if you take it a causal form, avidya into a deep sleep, eventually lead to
That's classic. He was waiting for a response from that.
That's on Facebook. So, here, if you can answer this, do you know any laws? You have a sassy mouth. Hold on. Do you know any laws that are made out of you?
Didn't you see the news coverage of the cats and the dogs?
Dancing, right? And they're doing.
She was dead to me.
She was dead to me.
The moment she licked me arsehole.
Me and Simon had like a fucking 2 or 3 hour co-working space where we probably said nothing but like Clubhouse random shit. Like, that's right. And she was dead to me. And then be like, PTR the proof, bitch. Like, you could say so much without actually saying anything at all for hours sometimes.
pictures where it didn't exist.
That's right. Tits or get the fuck out.
Dude, like I started watching like this one girl. She has these like shorts on YouTube, and she has she's rather endowed, right? And, like, I started like reading the comments. It is like super aggressive, man. Like dudes, they're just so like enamored to start a conversation about her assets, and it's pretty funny when she brings it up, points it out. She does it in a funny way. And I'm like, damn, man, like these dudes are super aggressive, man. Like, how you get that thirsty, man?
It's called the internet person.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, publicly saying the stuff out loud and how public facing the comments are, and they're attached to your real like life thing. It's not a troll account. These are like real dudes, like being like thirsty and acting like this stuff is like anonymous.
You can't really search YouTube chat or YouTube comments. I mean, as someone who has a very large internet footprint, it's really the Google search that you want to control. And for example, if you Google my telephone number, you'll see all kinds of, you'll immediately see me on YouTube, you'll see me on Instagram, etc. So I set up a new Hinge and Bumble account, and now I'm only texting with girls with a new number because I lose so much opportunity when the girl, that I want to take out sees me on YouTube, live streaming myself, talking to you guys. You see the problem? That's a real doxing. And what you're talking about, Carson, is really just, typical internet, comments.
He's really doing that?
No, I get you. I get you. Wow. And I get you on that one, man. But at the same time, like, if the dude has a channel, like, the channel pops up. And there's people with channels and all this other stuff that are, like, thirsty in the comments. With actually a presence on YouTube, not just, like, comments. You know what I'm saying?
We just got back. It doesn't matter. We just got back from the nightclub. I hadn't even taken a shower. She started licking me arsehole. It's disgusting. Then we had hot, sweaty sex.
I see you get carried away yourself. It was the next morning.
Morel, what's going on, Morel? I've enjoyed, listening to you. talk about things and, you know, educating your fellow Hindu brothers here in America that can't get laid. Because let's be honest, Indian men cannot get laid. And that is one of the reasons why they're always so depressed. And some of them turn to alcohol, and some of them, you know, it's because they can't get fucking laid. And the solution is arranged marriage. It's a cultural tradition that is, it takes the fake love out of the necessity of, you know, work and family and all the good things in life.
Your problem is become difficult because the cute ones don't want to just arrange marriage to a loser. They want to chat if they're going to do it. And most of them are finding somebody anyway. It's more of a arranged dating. So you still have to be manly. You have to attract a woman. You can't give them a lecture about your job and expect them to drop their panties.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what we try when we're at the low level. The person he's talking about was handing out his link and just hitting on girls and handing them LinkedIn, saying that he makes $300K. This is within 5 minutes of meeting them. So he thought that's appropriate, but he's never dated before. He's a virgin, and so you got to give some of these guys a pass. They just don't.
Hey, you know what's funny? I met this one dude a long time ago.
Toto Bagos is a good friend of mine. Come on up here.
Hey, I met this dude like a long time ago or whatever, and I guess I was his wingman because like for whatever reason, like I was like a DD or whatever at night, and freaking he got drunk and was talking to chicks in the nightclub, and he's a pilot, and he was getting shot down left and right. His approach was just super stupid, but I mean he like over 6 foot tall, you know, like checked a lot of blocks, but just personality was like just, you know, less than desirable, you know what I'm saying? It's pilot, man. He had the fairly chiseled jaw, white guy, but he was so socially awkward that it was like not very pleasing to the opposite sex.
Oh, fuck you, black guy.
What?
Yeah, I mean, height doesn't see people who are caught up on height, like T-Rob's here, maybe you, Carson. I don't know how tall you guys are, but I'm 6'3". What I'm saying is that height is one of those. Height is one of those bullshit things, like what Morel was saying. If you're a real man, height is completely irrelevant. It's insignificant. Look at Napoleon. I mean, could have fucked anybody he wanted.
I mean, but to a point, you are right. But I think some women will disqualify you. But I think it's like one of those things where it's like
you need every woman. You really need every woman. As long as you get one,
no, right? Wait, let me finish my statement first. What I think is it's one of those ones where it's like kind of self-filtering to where like you be like, oh well, she says this, and if you don't understand women, you know, you be like, oh well, she's like, oh man, we want that.
That's what you sound like, bitch.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, it's not a change.
Mr. Anderson.
That's right. Shut the fuck up,
Mr. Anderson.
That's right. You gone too.
That's weird. Or his dad was his. That's right.
All you bitches.
Okay.
He was dead to me.
That's right.
Oh, did you kick Gemini?
That's right.
Yeah, man, Tom's
Fuck that.
Why did you just clean out the room, man?
You're fucking lucky you're still here, bitch.
I don't care if you kick me out. That's the thing. I don't understand. What's part of the game then? Do it.
He licked my arsehole and he was dead to me.
We just got back from the nightclub. I haven't even taken a shower yet.
Hey, bitch. Come on. No. Come on. Tell me. I'm missing my daily check-in.
Daily check-ins.
Have you updated your fucking John Kidover yet?
With JohnKidover.com, yeah.
Bro, you need to have them forward to a single forwarder, so you just update the one and it updates them all.
Oh, it's pretty smart, but It doesn't matter. I in my GoDaddy account, I have 250 domain names. I have.
Weren't you doing that with your Tumblr?
Let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement. I have 250 domain names in GoDaddy, and I have them all forwarded to x.com/Adrian Dittman, but all of them are set to not renew. So I got a call from like a GoDaddy exec saying like, they charge me $200 for their stupid GoDaddy membership club. So you pay a reduced fee of like $10 per domain. It is worth it, but I'm done with it. It's bullshit. I'm done working with GoDaddy. I'm done owning domain names, and I have a lot of good names, but I don't give a fuck anymore. Bye-bye. I'm Adrian Dittman now. And I don't have adriandittman.com registered with GoDaddy. I have it registered with Tumblr. I'm basically done.
No, bro, this me. I've used them for like, not 15 years, but close enough. Over 10 years. Which there's no bullshit. It's just a good discounted rate. And if you spend over like $500 a year, then it gets even automatically, you don't have to ask anybody. It already goes on to like,
who do you use?
Higher discount. Dynadot, it's called.
Dynadot? Okay.
They're like one of the longest standing, like, they're a great service.
Jordan Gruber down there. Jordan Gruber.
It's like $11 to renew.com.
That's a good price. Jordan Gruber owns enlightenment.com, which is a great domain name. And he's recently published, the guy in the audience, Jordan, he recently published 2 books, or one of them is called Microdosing. And his website looks really good. But only the reason I'm bringing it up is because I told Jordan like last week about Tumblr and how he should develop enlightenment.com on Tumblr, because it's a free CMS, content management system. It's a free website, builder, and it's unlimited. Tumblr, and it's a social network on top of it. It's owned by Verizon. It's not going to go out of business as far as I know. So it's a good platform to build a content-based website on. And I'm sure there's a lot of plugins.
Aren't they limited with like the design now?
There's lots of templates. You can purchase templates, but yeah, I've been using Tumblr for many, many years. To me, it's a very perfect and cheap solution to a complicated problem, because, when I was building websites, I would just use an FTP and upload the fucking site to a server that cost me $3 a month, and I could upload as many sites as I wanted. They have changed the way I can, create my shitty websites by hand. Anyways, I used to do this in 2001. I was building websites and I had a nice stream of income coming because I ranked for keywords like sponsorship. I was like top 5 for the term sponsorship in Google. My site was generating hundreds of dollars a day. But now I'm just focusing on Adrian Dittman.
She's dead to me.
Yeah, she's dead to me now. That source of income. Income.
Okay. Do not come.
It's kind of crazy. You have to basically invite them to come in to get the income.
That's right.
So the guy who invited me to this website, Todd, he has a new site. It's called paynow.com, and it's like a Bitcoin exchange marketplace. He invited me to this site, and I gave him 10 grand to own 50% of marijuanabusiness.com. He never did anything with it and just kept my money. So then I finally sent him a threatening text message, and he paid me back the 10 grand. But he's still on this website talking to web developers, and there are all these domainers that have 100 domain names, 50 domain, 5,000 domain names, whatever. They're all sitting there paying for these large portfolios that generate no fucking money. It's a negative asset. Nobody even uses domain names. Like,
they're not assets, they're liabilities.
They're liabilities. And the thing is, why do you need a website now? Until you actually have like a functioning and successful Instagram or YouTube, etc., just work on building that shit out before you put up a .com and invest money in some stupid fucking website that no one's ever going to visit, because people are using the algorithm to discover what they're going to purchase. They're not searching like they used to. It's a different purchase cycle now.
Website is because they're going to get redirected anyway from your means of discovery. But people are trying to shortcut shit though, man. You know this.
There's only one shortcut. It's YouTube. If you want to do search engine optimization, you have to create videos about your keywords. That's it. You can't get ranked in Google. It's impossible.
Incorrect.
Even for a new site, you think you can actually get ranked for keywords competitively?
It took me about 18 months, but I'm on page 1 of Google for my most important keywords in my most important business, and I outrank a unnamed multi-billion-pound company.
So how did you develop this?
On the day. Sometimes I'm position 2, sometimes I'm position 3. I've never made it to position
What's
1.
the site built on? Just WordPress or what? PHP? What is it?
That website is built on WordPress.
Okay. I don't use WordPress, but I probably should.
No.
See, with Tumblr, you're never going to get traction. You'll never get indexed with Tumblr. And how did you?
You don't spend enough fucking time to. There's too much customization that's required, and the time that you need to invest and whatever, and you just need something you can like spray and pray on a lot of different things.
Well, I'm not going to probably. I would like to get to your level where I actually zone in on a certain product or service and focus on those keywords and get recurring traffic, recurring business. But what did you do on the outside of your site other than, fully optimizing your site with the keywords? What do you do offsite? Like, how are you buying links or how are you getting links? Like, what are you doing?
I'm not buying links. It's a platform. It's user-generated content, or it's automatically fed in, which is also user-generated, but they don't do it specifically on my site. So people upload content for me. So Google's seeing continuously, they're seeing continuously new, updated, and fresh content, which is a non-duplicate.
Wasn't Bella the name of Adolf Hitler's German Shepherd?
What was the?
If that's the case, man, you've been doing a lot of reading, no?
Blondie.
I was just kidding. I don't know.
It's like a subconscious thing. If that was the case.
It's a joke, but so that's interesting. So.
Hold up! Oh, he did. He woke up Bella. Amazing. That's amazing.
So what you're?
True Hitler loved animals, especially dogs. Yes. I'm assuming that. Where did I just fucking read that?
That means you can't.
They were in order. Listen. They were in order. I can't pronounce this one. Fuschel, Prince, Muggle, Blonda the Second, Blondie, Bella, and Wolf. Wow. That's amazing.
Wolf's a good name. I like that name.
So I agree with you that growing a site through user content and user profiles is like really. But how much did you pay, or how much have you invested with your developer to build out your site/platform?
The first version of the site was probably $10,000, but I built like roughly 25% or so of it, and since then it's basically been a scratch rebuild. I've written it myself, so there's no outlay cost, but an immense amount of time, years of time.
Well, that's a cost. Time. I mean, it's clearly time is money, meaning that. I mean, if you had to build it from scratch, I understand, but yeah. I don't know, like I had this one site called treasurefriendships.com, and it was supposed to be like a network or a marketplace to monetize your social media platforms. This was like back in 08, 07. And I paid these developers, $5,000 to build the platform. And I was getting hundreds of new registered users a month, and people were submitting all their social media credentials, profile IDs, etc., looking for sponsorships or looking for marketing partnerships, whatever. It's just an index of people looking to monetize. I had this Indian friend that I grew up with named Taz Patel. He has this company called Captivate. And what they do is they're basically an agency for social media influencers and matching them with brands. And it's a big business. But, they were doing political stuff. They'll do anything. And anyways, he really made a lot of money off of that. It's, been bought out a couple times and whatnot, but it's called Captivate, and it's a marketplace for social influencers.
Bella, get down. What I know you're excited. What about you? What?
What kind of dog do you have?
What? She is a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Oh my god, those things are huge.
Yeah. Big strong girl.
I dated this girl that had 2 of them, and I was like,
Oh, she's a big strong girl.
it's crazy. You see 2 Rhodesian Ridgebacks jump on your couch, and you're just like, oh, I don't have a couch anymore. Got to get a second couch.
It's like, oh, I don't have like, dude. You see when she like steps on you, you know about it. No, right? You good girl. Paw. Good girl. Other paw. Good girl. Touch. 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 Good girl. There we go. Waiting. Take it. Good check. Yeah, no, she's a fine specimen. She literally is the breed standard as well. I didn't plan this or whatever, but because I wanted a dog off this breeder, so literally like my local breeder, 10 miles away or so from me. But it turned out that a couple of months before I got her, well, for whatever she was even born, I suppose, her dad wanted us to breed in Crufts, so she's quite the specimen, aren't you?
You think you're talking to something smart. What you're really doing is talking to a big rat that wants to eat all the time.
No, but they're not.
She was dead to me.
You know, they're not Labradors, and she actually sometimes doesn't finish her food. But dude, I'm not a dum-dum, right?
You're not a dum-dum.
I bet
dum-dum.
Dum-dum. There are certain breeds of dogs that would agree with you. Like I literally call them rats, right? And little ankle biters in particular. But particularly, let's say collies, huskies, and like I wouldn't say Bella is as smart as a collie, but she's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah, I don't know. I like dogs.
You couldn't teach her to do this, right? But I don't like my brother, for example. And the first time she met him, she barked at him, like she could sense whatever it is. And you know, she told herself how to open fucking doors. Like it's when you see the things, when you struggle to teach them how to do things, right? You go through that process with them. Well, the struggle is more learning how that they learn. I suppose once you figure that out, it's much simpler. But realizing that when they learn things and pick up words on their own that you don't train them to, I always find that incredibly impressive. You know, the association. Like if you can't tell, right? There's certain
It's like having a Pikachu. It's an extension of you, meaning that you project onto your dog, but your dog becomes like a codependent, emotional parasite.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's a parasitical relationship. I don't doubt it. Like she's an NPC kind of, but the benefits outweigh the cost. Like I wouldn't.
No, I know. I get it. It's companionship. You know, it's basically having an automated dopamine drip anytime you want it.
One second. I was wrong. Bro, I'll cherish this nugget of information forever. That's amazing. Hitler, Uncle Addy had a dog called Bella. That's amazing. Not the reason why, obviously. I didn't even know that. But this is on a multi-level.
Oh, your dopamines are flaring now that you know that Adolf called his dog Bella. You're like, this is a coincidence. I can't believe it. It's a synchronicity.
It's synchronicity and symmetry and yes, all the fucking.
It was destiny that I called you Bella. Deep in my subconscious, I knew to call you Bella.
But what the fuck was I gonna say? Yeah, no, there's multiple aspects to it. You know, on one hand, yeah, you could say companionship or whatever. Now, did I consider myself lonely or whatever before? No, but like, there definitely is like a hole in my heart that is now filled that I didn't know was kind of missing. As gay as that fucking sounds, you know?
Yeah, but how do you know that that's not just
I
hindsight?
literally can't. I've had her. This will be her second Christmas, and that time has flown by, and I can't. I almost can't remember life without her. Now it's kind of very, very strange.
It sounds to me that you are suffering from depression. After you lost the girl who licked your arse, you haven't been able to match that dopamine feedback loop, so you went with a dog and put peanut butter on your cheeks.
That's right. But it's also like, it, you know, it kind of practically, it's kind of the same things. Like I have an electric sound desk, right?
How much? Wait, your dog must eat 100 pounds of food a month. How much? 50 pounds of food?
She probably eats. I don't know. I've never weighed it. She eats raw food. So it comes frozen from the butchers, but it comes in like a huge.
You don't mix in dog food?
No, she literally eats raw meat.
Bro, you gotta give that dog supplementary fucking dog food.
Incorrect. They need supplementary organ meat on top of it.
You don't have a wolf. You have a dog.
That's right.
I'm just saying, for your sake of ownership, it makes your life a lot easier to supplement with some dry dog food.
She's been eating it for over like a year, maybe 18 months.
Don't you know dog food is like like crack to dog food?
Huh?
Just try. When was the last time you fed that dog dry dog food?
It was like a year ago. Yeah.
Man, you should fucking, I'm telling you. It's, anyways, whatever. I mean, do what you're gonna do. I just feel bad for Bella.
Why? She's got zero health issues. She's incredibly healthy.
She's dead to me.
The breeder, who I keep in contact with, we have like a small little group chat, and I'll post up photos of her. And firstly, the breeder adores Bella, A, because she's very local to her still. Secondly, well, primarily, that's a secondary issue. The primary thing was Bella kind of chose us, right? Like I brought my mom to when I.
You brought your mom?
And Bella basically was jumping up on my mom's knee, so she kind of chose my mom. Actually, she didn't choose me. But so it was made it very simple. So I asked the breeder. I said, "Okay, you know how much we agreed for the purple girl?" And she said, "Okay, let me think about it," because the breeder kept not one but two puppies from that litter, and she was one male, one female. Sorry, one bitch. She was very specific. I kept saying, "No, I want a girl." You mean a bitch? You know, she was just like, I was like, yeah. You know, she was like, you know, well, look, if you want a bitch, it's this much. You know, like, anyway. But listen to me, she's like a champion breeder. Like, what the fuck am I meant to say? Anyhow, Bella there was two girls that she was like on the fence. She didn't know which one she wanted to keep, and basically Bella was one of the two, and then she let me have Bella. Basically,
How much did you pay?
That was a remarkably good sales picture.
How much did you pay?
I don't because I chose her anyway. She told me that beforehand.
How much did you pay?
It was more than some cars I've driven.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, she's a fucking like. Yes.
You paid $8 grand?
No, not that much.
Oh.
Yeah, you tell him you're worth it.
So I guess the big question is, does Bella bark when she sees a Keepa or a Schwartz?
Say that again. I can't hear you. She's whispering to me.
Does your dog bark when she sees a Keepa or a Schwartz?
Bro, they're literally, she hates niggers. Like, and the first time this happened, I'm like, I've heard this, but you don't know until you know, right? Like, I've adored the stuff. I've adored the breed and stuff, but I've never met one when they were like on red alert, right?
Yeah.
So when they go on red alert, they're ridged, so they have a stripe of hair along the top of their spine, which grows in the opposite direction. But when they're like on red alert, it stands up on end like a mohawk, right? It like and it partially goes up the back of their neck as well, which it, you know, when they're not kind of like in that, you know, red alert state, that you don't see it. Anyway, but yeah, basically they have a dual purpose, right? So on one hand, they were bred.
They come out of Africa too, right?
Look, yeah, you tell him. Look at my PTR. That's good girl. I know it's dinner time, isn't it? And there's dual purposes, right? So they were bred. Hey, you never make this much noise. What's
She
going on?
wants to eat. I told you, you live technically with a giant rat that wants to be fed all the time, and you are in a codependent, parasympathetic relationship with a giant fucking rat.
You tell me you're worth it.
She's dead to me.
You worth it? I'm looking at her so she won't say nothing.
So I dated.
I see that. You're my head away, shit.
I was dating this very hot liberal Jewish chick, and she had.
Anyway, before you tell me, look at my PTR. This is from like a BBC article of the year 2000, right? That's a Ridgeback. Look what she's defending the family from.
Wow.
That's right. So I heard this.
I mean, that's not a real photo, right? That's just like a Photoshop.
That's from a BBC News article from the year 2000. It's a real photograph.
Really?
100%.
Well, that doesn't mean it's real necessarily.
That's right. It was before AI. Anyway, but I'd always been told, like, I've heard this, that they're racist or whatever. Bro, I was walking her in the city center. I know. I was waiting on like a takeout food order, so I was just taking her like a lap up and down. And it's a really like student, the Queen's University area. And this like fucking like literally Hillary Clinton is the fucking chancellor of the university, right? So like this Hillary Clinton fucking voter type, you know, blonde, white, bimbo, fucking liberal girl was walking towards me with her basically half-caste but black boyfriend. And she's like, "Oh my god, your puppy's so cute." Oh my god, like goes to pet Bella. Bella loves her, whatever, blah blah. And the boyfriend puts his hands out to pet her, and Bella just like swerves him, just been like, "Nope." And it was the first time, just like straight away, just to be like, see her directly, be 100% racist, just be like, "Nope," like nigger's not touching me. And she did it. He went to put his hand out again into it, and she did the exact same thing. Like, it was not a fucking accident. It was hilarious. Just, I don't know. It made me smile.
Yeah, but I mean, to think that it's, well, anyways, yeah. I mean, don't you think it's still just a fight or flight response?
In other instances, right? For example, like with a bunch of, like, there's a guy who was like a Pakistani, and like she like, yeah.
No, but don't you, I mean, honestly, isn't it just a fight or flight response? Like, there's just so aware, you know, like they're conscious of their security. Like, they know, like they're always, it's like a wolf instinct, you know? It knows danger. It can detect possible danger.
Here's the thing. It's like, they're very protective, right? But not in an excessive or terribly, like an aggressive way, like a staffy bull terrier, or some kind of, like, they're at home, they're like Labradors, very strong Labradors, but they incredibly strong. Like, if someone, she won't even bark at other dogs. There was one time we were walking past like an apartment block, and there was a dog on the ground floor, all little ankle biters, right? And there was two in the next left floor, like the Americans would call that the second floor. So there's three dogs yapping at her, and she like literally just looks at them. Doesn't even bark. They're a very quiet breed. But when you hear her bark, that's her just whimpering or whatever you heard there. That's not really her making any noise. If someone knocked the side door, or if she, at 10 o'clock at night, if she heard a car door close, like, you would hear, they're part of the hound group. Like, she has a very deep set of lungs on her. So, typically they're a very quiet breed, but when they bark, you know about it.
What I'm trying to say is that regardless of the breed, whether it's a Shih Tzu or a Rhodesian Ridgeback, all dogs exhibit and demonstrate constantly the same exact patterns. It's basically security, protection, ingestion, defecation. Nah. They don't all have common ancestors. Nah. Dogs don't just do the same shit.
Have you ever met a pug?
Yeah, I've met a pug.
Okay, a pug versus like a working cocker or springer.
A working cocker spaniel.
You're talking about, or a German Shepherd, right? It's not
Working Germans. Right? We're not talking about the canine police. We're talking about dogs in a house. They want to fucking eat all the time. That's what I'm getting at.
They don't.
They fucking do. They're goddamn rats, and they want to eat the food in the kitchen 24/7. They're constantly working games to get more food out of your closet, out of your refrigerator.
That's right.
Can you hear me, Bella? Bite this limerick, bite this leprechaun's ankle, and go to the fridge, open it up, and get yourself your shylark.
I have went from feeding her twice a day to once a day because
once a day. She's eating like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel.
That's right.
You've got your dog on a starvation diet. You truly are a concentration camp. You're a concentration camp guard. That's all you ever were in the Nazi. If you were ever in the Nazi Third Reich, you'd just be a concentration camp guard. That's all you'd ever be. You fucking Jew-hating leprechaun motherfucker!
That's right.
So, the thing about God, I know you don't like the Jews, but you see, in Kabbalah, dog is God. That's why Jews have dogs, but Muslims do not have dogs in their communities. Dogs are Jewish, so, you're closer to the Jews than you think.
Really?
Yeah, your dog is Jewish.
That's funny because the Rhodesians were anti-communist.
No, what I'm saying is dog is God backwards, and the word God is go do, and dog is do go. They're connected. It's a riddle.
They're like space aliens, bro. They're just connected. It's just like
yeah, Rhodesian Ridgebacks obviously were abducted by the aliens.
That's right.
I'm just doing a word game, but really it's a riddle for taking action versus just using words all the time.
That's right.
Maybe Ape here could use that because, when Ape, I don't know if you know this, Ape, but when you speak, people can barely even understand what you're saying. You have no inflection. I don't know, is it when you're at work, you're just like low voice?
Maybe that, but maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's this microphone,
I'm just saying, if you can't communicate clearly on this app, how the fuck are you communicating clearly in the real world with people that you do transactions with?
He made you something. We need to see. Where is it?
No, I didn't know how to send it to him.
That's right.
I don't want to follow him back on anything. Just dude, when I follow you,
you're dead to me. You're fucking dead to me. I knew you were dead to me the moment you wouldn't follow me back. You're fucking dead to me. You're fucking dead to me.
No, I don't like you. I don't want my whole fucking timeline clogged up with your shit.
Your timeline? Your fucking timeline? You're such a loser. Fuck your timeline. No one fucking cares about your timeline. Your timeline is dead to me. Your timeline is dead to me.
Where's the second?
You fucking stupid losers don't even read books. You should join my book club where we read books to each other and become smart again. You losers have been talking about the Jews for so many years, you forgot that books even exist. You've gotten brain rot.
Look at Telegram, you faggot.
I can't. That phone is live streaming on YouTube right now. And we have one viewer. We want to thank whichever viewer you are, whoever you are, wherever you are. Your support matters. Go to our Patreon now.
I can set up a script to like get you viewers automatically, you know, just get that, pump up that view count.
Who cares? View count. You know, I was doing TikTok for like a year and recording all these live events throughout Chicago music performances. And you can, as a publisher, you're delusional. If you really even think that people are even watching your shit, and it's all just bots. So like,
Telegram is 100% artificially inflating.
Yeah.
It's no way this many people. Now, are there a lot of people on it? But yes, but it's horse shit.
Well, if you still don't think, I think you owe me $10 because if you go to AdrianDittman.com, no, go to AdrianDittman.com. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Adrian Dittman and fucking Elon Musk are not the same fucking person.
Go to my website AdrianDittman.com and look at my YouTube videos and you'll see Elon Musk playing the fool every night. I'm recording his unrecorded spaces. I mean, evidence.
Where did you post the one with the two things in the same time? Is it my and Diego chat? What the fuck is it?
I just put it on Twitter just now, so you can see it there. I don't know where it's.
Bro, I do follow you, don't I?
Yeah.
Are you fucking losers on X?
I put the link in the chat.
What is your X handle? What's your X handles? If you want, follow me on Instagram. Louis60Y?
Yeah.
What's up, Adrian?
Louis Goyer.
Look at it.
Asperger's agent. Agentic enthusiast. What? This isn't even English. Oh my god! Oh my god! What in the fuck is this? What in the fuck is this?
I'm gonna post the one of Tim. You'll love this.
What the fuck is this? Oh my god! You're getting a clover for that one.
Wait till you see the one of Tim here.
What the fuck is this? You're doing it. You're my press agent. Oh, that's cool. That's like AI. You're doing AI on my face. Holy fuck. The fuck is this?
Yeah, look at here. I just put on. You see this?
This is amazing. How did you do this?
Here, I'll send you the link to the. It's POE.com. But it's a certain model on.
Why isn't there any audio though?
Well, so this model is just a image to video generation model.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But you know, I think
January 6 cases. You don't know why these people.
I think I actually have like an NPC face because I'm bald. You know, like I basically have like an NPC face, or like if you go on Snapchat and you build your emoji character, I'm just that, totally naked white human body. So I should be easily created, as a bald person. I feel like it's easy to manipulate images.
Well, this is, I guess it's not, I guess by default you can say yes, it does have to manipulate additional frames of images in order to
turn it into a video.
But what I'm saying is, do you think bald people are entitled to reparations for having androgenic alopecia? Why isn't androgenic alopecia covered underneath the Social Security Disability Act? We're uglier than people that have to get haircuts. We're discriminated against.
I mean, the pretty privilege is probably the most privileged of all the privileges by far. Like, I'm being dead serious.
Look at the T-Drops one.
No, it's real.
You don't know anything about these January 6th pictures.
It's constantly, it's ramblesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do this with any famous person, right?
You can do it with any image. They do have moderation layers built on top of, like, so I know Poe has some sort of moderation layer that's built on top of all of the models that they're using the API on, but like also the models themselves. It's very difficult to find a truly uncensored model. I've come across a couple, but I don't have the. I mean, I guess I could run it on what I have, but it's just not worth it to me because of the amount of like space that it would take up and how slow it would be because I don't have. I mean, I just have like a Chromebook. But yeah, you can do it with basically any image, but there's going to be certain images that, like, obviously it's not going to. If someone's anything graphic, I'd imagine they're gonna. It'll get rejected, but there are ways around that if you wanted to. But yeah, it's gonna be a big deal with the whole deepfake shit for porn. I guess it is an issue. I do think it is an issue. So.
I saw something about some teacher yesterday that got arrested and sentenced. I don't remember what his sentencing was, but he took. Actually, I won't even mention it. I don't want to say it.
I already can guess whatever.
Yeah, he's basically doing pederasty, and using AI and stuff and taking photos of his students, like, just really.
This is one of those things where, like, I don't have a big social media footprint. I don't really want one, but like, people really should like. Anyone who doesn't have kids now but moving forward ends up having kids, you really shouldn't be posting photos of your kids online. Period. For this reason. Because anyone that's already got one out there, like, it is what it is. It's part of a bunch of training data sets for sure. There's something you can really do about it now. But yeah, like, there's gonna be fucking creeps that are gonna take your child's image, and yeah, so it's like, yeah. And I don't know how I feel about the whole. Obviously, with anything with that, I'm against it. But like, I think Japan recently basically said that like anything you can connect to on the internet is free grabs for these companies that want to use. Basically scrape everything for data. There's no like copyright. I don't know exactly how they worded it, but it basically gave protections for AI companies. I don't know. I'm for that only in the context of AI, but then that opens up a whole other set of paths where, like, at some point, then like these companies are gonna eventually, specifically due to the ability of being able to just scrape everyone's data, that's where they're gonna reap their benefits in the long run. But I don't know. It's very gonna be in the next 10 years. They're gonna be pretty wild, and I don't think anyone really, for the most part, sees. Like,
So I'm using this.
possibly coming.
I'm using this website, Poe. I don't understand how to like use it though. Like, how do I take an image and make it into a video?
So here, let me see if you. So one, go to the Explore, and then it should pull up like a tab where you can filter by models. You're gonna want to go on the audio and video one, and the
Hailu Live.
Okay, so you would have to get the subscription because that model that I used, it says it doesn't require.
You're paying for this?
Access. Yeah, this is one that I probably will never get rid of. It's $20 a month, and it works on a point system.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? What the
It gives you
fuck?
access to basically
It's $20 a month. You're paying for this. You don't even have a job.
Nigga, I just got off work. What are you talking about?
But is it really worth it for $20 a month to sit there and create these little artistic shit?
No, I don't use it for that. That's just like a funny thing because they recently added them. I don't fuck around with like the video and image stuff. It doesn't really interest me.
But what have you done with it that you've actually, made more than $20 a month doing, other than like creating content, like, and you're not even posting it, right? Like, what are you doing with this?
This AI just completely fascinates me, and I don't feel like going down the discussion of like, oh well, if it's not adding to your life, like, then what do you do?
I know, but can't you think about something that, like, look at T-Rubs, like, he's built a platform. Why aren't you, like, using this content to contribute to his platform, to a platform, to build something for yourself that you can monetize through doing sales or advertising?
Yeah, well, that's actually, dude, fucking echo, bro. Yeah, I very much, like, do want to actually do that. I've been working on a couple different things. I'm surprised how little, all of I don't know if it sounds like you haven't gone down this hole, but with regards to AI and like the sales industry, for lack of a better term, all of the stuff out there that's incorporating AI, like they are to some extent, is kind of all a bunch of bullshit. Like it's not really, there's not like an actual thing that I've come across with AI other than like being like, okay, just click one thing and the email will get like automatically fucking generated. Even then, it's very templated, but I think there's a huge opportunity in that area. So yeah, I'm using it for all kinds of different things. But the thing that's very interesting is these models are all very different, dude. They're very, very different. It's not a one that like you have the retards out there that will like put in like a stupid question, and they're basing like whatever the answer, dude. You know when you're not talking, because I can't. The echo is fucking.
Oh.
Damn, I sound sexy. Holy shit. Yeah, like people like Randy, who's not a retard, but in many ways he is, will like ask it one question and then like base the whole fucking the whole model, the whole concept of AI will be judged on that one output. But yeah, the models are very different. They all have like their own sort of unique strengths that they're good at, bad at, etc. But any individual model in itself, the way that you communicate with it, the way that you instruct it, it matters significantly. It's night and day, and that's what I kind of fell into the autistic rabbit hole of, at least for the first like 9 months when GPT-4. Well, 3.5, and then I got 4 was kind of like, at least for someone very new to it, was like the only AI model out there. And that's where I really got like just hooked and fascinated, because the level of output that you could get these models to do is actually fucking incredible. But you do have to like know kind of how to work them a little bit. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, I'd like to see, I mean, I can Google it, but like, what are the 10 most common prompts or commands? And yesterday I heard somebody on this app talking about Excel workbooks, and the worksheets or pages within an Excel document, the tabs, and how he was saying that AI can't do these complicated, crossover tab functionalities. And people live and die by Excel sheets, in big business. And so they're saying that there's like major limitations with that, but Poe I've never seen it, and there's so many platforms now. And have you used Copilot? Because that's the only real AI generator, that and Grok. But like Copilot to me was pretty cool. And the
you're talking about GitHub Copilot or
Microsoft Copilot, yeah.
I hated that one, bro.
I was creating all this amazing art, and I was posting it to X, and guess who decided to delete my X account? Elon Musk, aka Adrian Dittman.
Yeah. Well, I did. probably deleted it forever. Why did you get clips off that specific?
I saved all my images that I created, but because I was tagging New York Times and saying, hey, write an article because Elon Musk is Adrian Dittman. Adrian Dittman is Elon Musk's pen name burner account, and every night he's going on unrecorded chats. Here are all the videos. Go to adriandittman.com. So on one of his lives, he's like, our fucking resident retard was trying to dox me to the New York Times, and I'm sorry, I had to suspend your account. I hate suspending accounts. I just like to block, but unfortunately, yeah, fuck you, man.
That's a pretty good resume for it. Yeah, see, I find it interesting that even when you do the impression of Dittman, it's slightly different than an impression you would do of Elon, because there's a distinct difference between those two. You just gave him a way, like a noticeable sort of like European, I'm not good with accents, but not South African or whatever the fuck Elon did. But yeah, I did not like Copilot at all. Dude, it just fucking refused to, like, it would refuse way too much shit, man. There was like absolutely no need for one of the things I do enjoy is I like pushing the limits of like I want to find out like where the model is kind of like okay it won't do this, but I wasn't even trying to do that half the time with it. I was just trying to like just prompt something because they were talking up pretty big and I figured Microsoft whatever they integrated it with X, Y, and Z, and dude it was literally useless to me. I even paid the $20 one month to see what was up with it. But yeah, I'm surprised if you can think of like the exact thing that guy was saying. I'm not super familiar with Excel, but I'd be interested to try and see because from the way you made it sound, what he said, I find it very hard to believe that you couldn't get a model to do really anything with Excel that Excel is capable of doing.
Well, he's saying it's tab to tab to tab because I know you probably haven't done like, I can't do these things myself, but I've been in positions where I've had finance or a data science analytics team send me like, Excel spreadsheets that were not auto-generated, but were built by hand using very complicated formulas. And they go tab to tab to tab. And my recent job, it was all about like cost estimation. And so whoever built these fucking Excel spreadsheets are very smart people. Yeah. Anyways.
Very fine people.
And this is what I wanted to tell you was, so when I was using Copilot, I was creating these awesome images of major cities. And so my point is, if you were a printer or a photo enlarger, or you did photo printing, you could print these awesome AI image generated photos and sell them for $29.99 and put them in a dollar store frame. The printing business, the art business is a real business, and AI allows you to do really awesome prints and to sell those prints on many different platforms, eBay, etc. So it's a good business, and you could probably, within a couple months, you could probably start making a couple $1,000s printing and shipping.
And you'll still be a broke ass bitch.
I mean, see, T-Robs is a little smarter than us if he can actually code, but the fact that he has a platform and he's in a paperless business, and while my dumbass is trying to print and ship shit, like I need to build up enough revenue again so I can experiment in trying to build a platform and outsourcing development to build some type of marketplace.
Listen, in the beginning, I was not worthy. Let's just say, like, I didn't inherit it, right? But like, I procured an asset, a domain name, which like vastly, punches above its weight, and I was probably not worthy of. Yeah, fuck it. So that's the hack, right? So like, it's like buying oceanfront property, and you can bid on it later, or knock it down and build something again, redevelop it, but like it can't be replaced. So location or whatever in this instance of the property is going to vastly. Your marketing spend is going to go further, right? Your name recognition is going to go further. Everything's going to. It's like the wind's going to be at your back, basically.
I know, but like I'm trying to come up with like simple solutions like printing and shipping, as opposed to doing a complicated WordPress operation that requires SEO, requires content, requires functionality.
SEO. WordPress is like SEO friendly by default. That's the kind of nature of it.
I know, but you have a successful ongoing venture. You should be able to write a blueprint for me and Ape here and say, this is what I have going on. This is the mirror. This is the parallel. This is the clone. Just clone this and this will be successful. Like cloning.
It's not like there's no. What I could give you is stuff that just like already exists, but it's not about the model. It's not about the thing. It's not this strategy. Like the biggest issue anything has, right? Like for example, you could have an exact clone, word for word, line of code for line of code for Twitter. You could have absolutely the exact same technology. In fact, your technology, your product could be better than that, right? But if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one to hear it, does it make a sound, right? You could have the best product in the world, and if no one actually shows up, it's irrelevant, right? So the most important thing is how are you going to inject momentum into it? How are you going to get it going to get the snowball rolling down the hill, so where it starts compounding and building on itself? That's the most important thing. Actually, it's adoption. The product can be inferior, but if you can get people to use it, you can work with it. You can develop as you go. So it's not a big. There's no new strategy. There's no new model under the sun. Really. The thing is, you should be more focused on how you're going to get. No one wants to walk into an empty restaurant. How do you make it appear like your restaurant is busy so that you literally attract others then that actually make it busy?
I prefer the North Korean method. You just pay people to be in there. It looks like they're enjoying themselves.
Dude, that's what fucking hoes are for, bro. That's what.
You gotta wonder, like, if something they say about North Korea is
right?
true.
They're like, oh, free guest list, come to the nightclub, blah blah blah. It's just like they're literally getting paid to like fucking show up so that like Johns show up, not John as in John Kilmer, but Johns, right? And they think they're gonna get a piece of that ass.
That's right. Look, the temptation of the potentiality of getting a piece of some ass is the thing that makes the world move, dude.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
That's right. So ask not what your product can do for the world. Ask what the world can do for your product. No, but you gotta have a strategy of getting people to actually. What's your traffic strategy?
Making Clubhouse accounts.
How's that working out for you?
I don't know what his traffic strategy is. I will say this: when I was gonna send him the video that he saw, I went to Instagram and he made all can do this and this would be very simple. But so many things came up when I hashtagged the name. I'm not really familiar with Instagram and how it works. So yeah, I didn't send it because I was like, oh, there's a sea of things here. He might not even see it. Yeah, I don't get why you do what you do. Did he do it? And I don't know. Maybe there's some insight that you're saying back in 2001. When you were building what? Because to me, I worked for GoDaddy, for Yelp. I'm somewhat familiar with like sort of the SEO, that kind of to an extent, and CBC and marketing. But to me, it seems like like you are maybe stuck in the early 2000s with this connection. Exactly.
It's like, you know those, have you not seen this like Facebook group that kind of does the rounds? It's called 04 Rich. And everyone's just like, oh, you know, it's like, it's got like a 2004 S-Class and a 2004 Range Rover. It's like, or there's another one called Recession Rich, which is like people that got money around 08, right? But John's hung around too many people that made it then, and then like thinks that, I don't know what, that can still be emulated or whatever. And yeah, it can.
Well, I have this judgment against me now for $300,000. So I have this judgment against me for $300,000. So I'm going to have to file Chapter 13 bankruptcy and go into like a repayment plan.
Bro, you've been talking about this for like a year or two.
I know. And, but what I'm saying is, look at Snapchat, for example. It's a marketplace. It's an advertising marketplace with 100 million, 300 million users or more. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to ever even think that you could even build a business that big with all the overhead, like, you're insane. I mean, you can dream big, but just having little tiny scratch to survive, like, it takes action, and I mean, look, they're about to get rid of TikTok in America. They might make ByteDance sell TikTok to Steve Mnuchin and an investment group, and I think they're crazy. Like, to separate TikTok from global TikTok is impossible because it's basically just a network of advertisers and content creators. So, like, people, they want one thing, but they don't realize that you can't want what is not possible, because the paradigm now is what works, and changing it will not work. So I don't know. I mean, I just know people that have pre-existing .com concerns, like app.com, Apt Electronics, like they're making $1 billion a year. You can't compete with that. You can't even try to compete with that. You have to find some type of arbitrage, some type of niche, and just make a little bit of cream cheese. But I don't know. I would love to grow a big business in my life, but I don't think it's possible.
You're trying to solve 50 things at once, and you need to focus on one thing. You're like, well, if I just made, $150 off this thing and $150 off that thing, and next thing you know, I'll have like fucking I'll have 15 grand a month or something, right? Like, if you just focus on the one fucking thing, you're like 1,000 times more likely to actually get it to that point. Like, there's a domain name investor that I know, and he's just happy. He's got like $8 a year or whatever it was, right? Obviously, it's now over 10, and even on the biggest bulk plans. That's why Dynadot at 11 is pretty good for the .com renewal. He didn't care if his domain names, like, quote unquote, made any real money. They just had to make their renewal. Yeah. And that's all that guy ever makes is the renewals. So he's doing all this fucking work just to renew all these fucking domains. So technically it doesn't cost him any money, but it costs him a lot of time, right? And if he just put all that fucking effort into developing one fucking thing, he'd probably make it a success, but his divided attention gets him nowhere.
I know, but what I'm saying is developing how is developing a .com that no one's going to visit, even comparable to some fucking whore that shakes her ass and has 15 million subscribers? Like, my fucking brand.
Bro, what it's fucking telling you is that you're providing the marketplace with nothing of value. That if even with a great .com name, right, that some fucking no-name whore without a website can generate more funds is what that means, is what you're shilling, what you're offering, what you're selling, the market ain't buying.
Well, I'm not actually in operations, and I'm not doing anything other than Adrian Dittman right now.
What the fuck are you even doing with it? Look, it's humbling, right? To most people have focused initially on trying to sell. They're trying to sell the way they want to sell, and they don't focus on selling the way that consumers want to buy. You're not really thinking about what they want. You're thinking about what you want.
I'm not thinking about anything. I'm drinking Miller High Life and smoking weed. I might go have another coffee before I go to the gym.
Is it bad enough that you drink Miller High Life, but you fucking drink it with orange juice?
That's right. I know some leprechauns at an Irish pub here in Chicago. They told me that's how the white trash Irish drink it. And I said, well, put a little OJ in my Miller High Life.
I think, didn't that just overtake I don't know, Bud Light or something for the most popular beer in America now?
Most likely.
Sales go.
It's $9 for a 12-pack. $9. Each bottle, in my opinion, is worth at least $1. They're crazy. They're selling themselves short $3 on every case.
Clubhouse. If it was worth $1, if every Clubhouse fucking opinion I ever made was worth $1, it would be.
Every fucking if I got $1 for every room I've been in on Clubhouse, not even opinions, I'd be a fucking millionaire already. But I'm not. Just because I talk with a millionaire doesn't make me a rich man.
Just think how much collectively you've caused the fucking tech giants from your hours.
Well, that's the thing, is it's all subsidized by the government.
Never mind the hardware cost. The sheer electricity cost required.
Listen, you know how much shit I've left you?
It's an absolute loss.
Listen, I use AT&T. Why hasn't somebody from AT&T called me yet and said, you've uploaded 2,000 terabytes and we're kind of pissed. We thought that was like your whole neighborhood. No, it was just you. How many cell phones do you have, Mr. Kidover? No,
I'd be curious.
no, I've never logged into AT&T to check it.
Doesn't your shit just get retardedly slow though? Once
No.
Really?
No, AT&T is fiber optic. Cable is terrible. I was using Comcast, and man, oh my God, I changed to AT&T. I have not had an internet interruption ever. Comcast, I was having interruptions daily. Comcast was terrible. AT&T is like high quality business to business IT. Like,
is AT&T like the equivalent of like what we call BT, right? Like they are the default national carrier.
yeah, they're the original.
Yeah.
They're the original. They're the oldest and the biggest. I mean, they're not, in America, we have Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, Charter Communications. Who else do we have? But those are the big four telecom in America. And then we have like 10 little providers that basically license spectrum from them. So all these burner accounts that I've been creating are done using TracFone, which operates off of Sprint. So they're basically, they're just basically brokers of telecom. But these cell phones, this is the thing about all these manufacturers, why they have to get out of the hardware industry, is because the cell phones have peaked. A $50 cell phone is as good as a $1,000 cell phone. There's no differentiation in a store anymore. A $250 phone is as good as the $1,500 phone. So it's, what are we using the phones for? It's not just like an investment or an asset. It's like, what are you going to use the phone for?
Well, the memory on it is, I think, the biggest thing now. Like how many gigs it has.
Yeah, that is a huge thing, and that's not going up.
$1,500. Have you ever seen the fucking video where the guy in the fucking like Schengen, what's the fucking word? Yes, Schengen. No,
Shine.
That's the fucking name. No, what's the name?
Shane.
Whatever. There's this fucking like hardware market they go to in China, and basically the guy puts like a 1 terabyte chip from a iPad into his phone, right? So it's not an official supported Apple model or whatever, but like it works. And it was like $30 or something, right? So that's just artificially.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's just artificially inflating the prices, right, to differentiate it, and they know people will pay for it.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, to find somebody
like ultimately, it's like jewelry, right? Like the handbags in the world are like good enough, right? And the $2,000 handbag, the $5,000 handbag, does exactly as much as the $20 fucking handbag at this point, right? It just is more exclusive or more decorative or made with slightly more.
Well, it's psychological then.
The functionality, right?
It's a It's a psychological platform. It's a psychological platform. They want you to renew annually because you're being marketed to.
Didn't have all the functionality of the more expensive phones. Now the cheapest phones still have access to the same app stores. Able to download the same apps. They still have cameras.
And look at Poe. Look at Ape's website, Poe. That's not even on. That's not hardware. That's all done through a fucking website. So the cloud, in many ways, is pairing perfectly with these high-end phones. But the functionality, the usage of the phone, it's like we're already using the most advanced software that could possibly be created. Free telephony. Like how you see what I'm saying? Like, how is Apple and Microsoft and Google and all these hardware manufacturers, it's peak. It's already peak. And I'm 42. And all these younger people are all sick from these cell phones because they're addicted to them. And it's given them brain rot. They haven't read a book in 20 years. I'm addicted, but you got to look at this as a generational crisis. They say the average Harvard graduate only reads one book by the time they graduate undergrad at Harvard. One book. One fucking book. Look, Google it. That was a recent news headline.
Like 90% of the value of a quote Harvard education is being accepted into Harvard. It's not even graduating. How many people, Mark Zuckerberg or whatever the likes, obviously they went on to go and become very wealthy individuals, but being able, the admission process itself is the credibility. It's not about like what the.
Yeah, I understand that. I get it. But you got to understand there's a lot of DEI hires that come out of Harvard, Princeton, Yale that aren't worth their weight, and they're just DEI people who are there because they're black. So, but an Asian doesn't get DEI preference in the way that an ADOS does. So
no, they get DEI discrimination.
Oh, it's so funny how retarded Americans have become.
Yeah, I think America is
because of the Jew.
Oh, there you go. That's the next level derangement where you actually think there's something called Jew. I mean, have you been to Israel and hung out with what they call themselves as Jew? A Jew in America versus a Jew in Israel are like two entirely different things.
Okay,
completely and entirely. No, what I'm saying is that if you speak Hebrew, you are not a Jew. You're a Hebrew. That language is called Hebrew, right?
What about Khazarian?
Who's Khazarian? The Khazarian.
What is that? I keep hearing that. What is that? Who is that?
That's right.
Are you talking Dan Bilzerian? Because he is a fucking rabid Jew hater. He is a serious fucking instigator of hate. That guy fucking hates the J. You're just like a testicle hair in terms of Dan Bilzerian Jew hate propaganda and distribution. Bilzerian, see, that's the thing is you'll never be like Bilzerian. I'll never be like Bilzerian.
I was actually just listening to Oliver Stone's son, Sean Stone, who has been on this app a couple of times before, and he also mentioned this keyword in the podcast.
Keyword called what? Khazarian?
How the fuck do you spell it?
Khazarian? Khaz, Khazarian, Arian, Khazarian.
Yeah, that's what I typed in. The Khazars were a nomadic Turkic people who formed a powerful empire during the Iron Age. That's right.
Turkic during the Iron Age.
Judaism in the 8th century. The Khazars' empire covered parts of modern-day Russia, Ukraine, Crimea, and Kazakhstan. The Khazars were a confederate of tribes from the Caucasus, including Slavic, Scythian, Hungaric, and Bulgar.
Wait, before you go on any further, you do realize that if it's true and it's not a conspiracy theory, then people cannot use the term the Khazarian conspiracy. They just have to say you guys are ancient Khazars from the Iron Age, and you are the descendants of these people who are now doing genocide, apartheid, and neo-colonization. So, I mean, the chances
that it is like a lineage, and it's historically documented that the people doing what they're doing in Israel, like these people speaking Hebrew, are not the originals but are fakes. I mean, even if that's...
You mean like that Polish guy, Netanyahu?
The point is, even if that's true, it doesn't make a difference. They're the ones in charge. They're the ones doing it. Like,
The Israelis are the anti-Semitic ones, bro. They're literally killing the fucking Semitic people, the Palestinians.
Listen, have you seen some of the Israeli soldiers that have died in combat? They look like they came out of an assisted living facility for people with Down syndrome, okay? I mean,
no, better than that, bro. Listen, you need to look at Telegram. Have you never seen all the people with Down syndrome in IDF uniform?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
That's sad. Like, have you seen the fat bitch the size of a bus in a fucking IDF uniform?
Listen, the Israelis...
Like, everyone was like, that's big. Oh, that girl Elle was like, it's big. I'm like, bitch, she's doing a TikTok dance. I'll show you the video if you want.
But T-Robs, I've seen your picture. You're not that far away from a Down syndrome person yourself. I mean, that's why you're in love with a Rhodesian Ridgeback, because no woman in her right mind could possibly look at your face and say, I don't want to have kids with him. He looks like he's close to Down syndrome genetics.
That's why there's a beautiful California girl on this app begging me to have babies.
Yeah, California girl. Why can't you find a girl in Northern Ireland who's capable of breeding with you and having children? I'm serious. There's so many hot Irish chicks. Why can't you fucking land yourself why can't you?
I want to eventually be in the fucking US. That's what.
Oh, really? Is it that bad there? What about Dublin? Why don't you just move to Dublin?
Definitely not.
Why can't you get a big tech job in Dublin working for Google?
Ireland's not a real country, bro. And it's, yeah, what the fuck would you want to live in?
What do you think about that prime minister?
Where the fuck are you living in Ireland?
What do you think about the prime minister there? Did you see the prime minister going on a Jew hate tirade 2 days ago? He started saying how the Irish people stand. Anyways, you guys have a leprechaun for your, like a real leprechaun, you know? I mean, something out of a movie. He wears like a green.
That's a faggot. I don't know who you're talking about, but there's no leprechaun in fucking Irish government.
He looks like you, but he's old and bald.
This was a tweet that I had to see because it's good. There has never been an independent Ireland. Ireland, quote, was created by the British, supported by Catholic terrorism, and maintained by American dollars. Ireland is not a real.
I know, that's why they say the Irish are the N-words of the British Isles. You guys are the N-words of the British Isles. You're the N-word of the white people in the island chains. You hear me? You and your Rhodesian Ridgeback. That's why your dog likes you, because you're a white N-word. You're a liar. Your dog hates you deep down. I can feel it. Feel the pain and suffering in that dog. You're only feeding it fucking raw meat once a day. Never giving it any dry dog food.
Irish times, nigga. Irish.
Bella, do you hear me? I give you permission. Rip his throat out and go get yourself some dry food. Open the front door.
Irish naval ships may have to deploy unarmed down to a single technician.
Ramming speed!
Service the ship's guns before a vessel goes out on patrol. Motherfucker, Ireland's standing like fucking toy soldiers, right? With fucking empty ships, which can't do shit. They're not even a part of NATO.
Did you know? Did you know in World War II?
Who wants to put a fucking bear bomber over the top of Dublin? It's the fucking Royal Air Force coming to their fucking.
Did you know in World War II the English they had the Irish go out in their battleships and just do ramming operations, and they had no ammunition, so they were literally using the Irish to do suicide runs because they didn't give a shit about the Irish. Isn't that amazing?
That doesn't even what? The Ireland was neutral in World War II?
No, that's not true. Look it up. Google it. Did the English use the Irish as suicide bombers during World War II because they didn't value the Irish blood because they're racists and you can't give any land to the Irish?
this doesn't make sense. I've never heard this before in my life. Yeah, you're gonna have to PTR the first bitch.
So have you ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles?
There is no documented evidence to suggest that the Irish Navy deliberately rammed any ships during World War II. The Navy's small fleet of torpedo boats and control vessels was neither equipped nor intended to engage in direct combat with larger ships. Their primary mission was to deter incursions into Irish waters and monitor any violations of neutrality. Notable instances: neutrality patrols. Irish naval vessels occasionally escorted or intercepted foreign ships that entered Irish waters and ensuring that neutrality was respected.
Listen to this.
Anyway, it's fake news, bro.
Alright, we'll give some land to the niggers and the chinks, but we don't want the Irish.
We don't want the Irish! So are you telling, this is why the Irish are so aligned with the Palestinians, because you guys are technically the same N-words, the same parasites. And, you know.
They're lined up, well, that's assuming the Palestinians are parasites. But
I'm being facetious.
It's shared, you know, it's one struggle, shared fucking oppression, blah, 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 you know, like, it's solidarity with other occupied people or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's their view.
Well, the thing is, the Irish have been getting fucked over by English kings, you know, forever, for 1,500 years.
Literally everything that Ireland is today could not be possible if it was not the fact that everything they have and benefit from comes from their British origins. Dude, don't even speak down the fucking language.
But we don't want the Irish.
The only benefit that they have is it's not just the tax fucking regime. Bulgaria has cheap fucking taxes, bro. But there's an English-speaking fucking nation on the edge of Europe that allows them favorable tax laws and a high-quality talent for all of these fucking tech companies. Bulgaria has a fucking lower rates of taxation, but you don't see these tech companies in Bulgaria.
See an enormous number of like cars that like plow into the car in front of them, and
that's amazing. That big Jew motherfucker. What's that guy's name? I forgot it. He's got like 20 different accounts.
Yeah. So
I think his name used to be Gooby.
Heck, I've been in 2 accidents while he been on Clubhouse.
So this account is called Clubhouse Podcast Scam, and one of the guys on this app, Chris, is live streaming all of these rooms now onto Clubhouse. It's amazing. I don't even have to do it anymore. He's doing it all for me. You want the link?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you're a laser focused leprechaun. I understand.
That's right. See, Lou doesn't understand this concept. I'm very comfortable not knowing things or not. Like, I'm just like, I don't need to know. I'm good.
That's not, no. That's right. In relation to peanut butter, like, it's a weird thing that.
Dude, it's in everything.
That's not knowing. Oh, my God.
Listen, this nigger gets it. Laser focus. What does focus mean? Focus means saying no.
But what does that have to do with peanut butter, dude?
Focus, nigger.
We'll give land to the cheats and the N-words, but we won't give any land to the Irish.
Is that an AI or is it a real clip?
Yeah, that's from the movie Blazing Saddles.
That's so good.
for coming to the stand-up comedy room. This has been Irish Leprechaun. I am funny and I hope you enjoyed the room.
That's right. I've been refining my scripting techniques. Have you ever done that? It's kind of important. You've not done on the internet. Have you ever? No. Have you ever scraped any websites?
Yeah, I have. I was scraping the yellow pages when you were just in fucking baby underpants. Little fucking leprechaun motherfucker. I'm the only person with a party hat on in the room. So this app is dead. This app is fucking dead. No new users.
Some of it is the energy that is transferred into your cabin during the accident. I mean, every Tesla is a 5-star rated front and back crash.
So Zenimini is the burner account.
There's no motor in the front. It's a giant compost.
Yeah, I would love if someone, I don't want to derail the room with my obsession, but if someone has an incredible comparison of the safety of a Suburban versus the safety of a Tesla Model Y, I'd be very interested in seeing that. I know the Y is the safest possible vehicle for dealing with outside, but I don't know whether the Suburban size advantage is enough.
Right. Right? If you've got a 6,500-pound vehicle versus a 4,100-pound vehicle, and the height too of the bumper, if there's a mismatch.
Here's a question: Is the Cybertruck the safest vehicle on the road now?
You know what? It's
self-driving.
I would bet money that the Cybertruck is the safest vehicle in America by far, but I think it's too new to have been tested. But I want to hear.
Right. I am shocked.
What is it with these nasally fucking whiny Jews?
You sound like a nasally, whiny leprechaun Irishman. What's the difference? I told you you're Jewish, otherwise your Rhodesian Ridgeback would have ripped your fucking throat out already.
With self-driving, I would think. I can't think of a safer vehicle.
It's true. We would cut highway deaths by half if everyone.
We would cut highway. I hate all these people. They're all... The worst thing is, I'm just like them. And so are you, T-Rubs. You sit here and you listen to them talking about nothing while these fat fucks are sitting in their house doing nothing with their fucking lives. Just sitting here talking about the fucking news. That's it, T-Rubs. Everybody's got a pussy on this end. And I'm gonna fuck them all. And you can watch me torture an entire city.
Are you still talking to yourself?
It's sort of a real temporary problem.
Hello?
All experts agree that in 25 years, humans won't be allowed to drive a vehicle. So, if you can make it to 25 years from now, you know, the highway...
If you can make it 25 years from now. You're really projecting. People are trying to figure out what's going to happen 25 years from now instead of trying to figure out what's happening right now.
That's not fucking evidence or Domingo or whatever your name is. It's Swiss Re is a reinsurance company. I know because I used to consult for them.
Ooh.
Those are advertisements. Those are shit we make up in the claims area. We take a subset of data, cherry pick at it, stretch it, wrap it around, and then slap it in an
Oh my god, is that Brad?
It's fucking Brad.
We're the biggest fucking...
He's the one who got out of your shithole island country and made it big in finance, in insurance and reinsurance. He's German!
His surname's like count you and then having to actually acknowledge and do some of this shit. And you do this...
Ask him what his fucking surname is.
Brad, what's your surname? Count Duluth?
Season 1, maybe season 2.
Season 1 and Season 2 of Clubhouse? I thought you had a fucking job, Brad.
And you have it. You posted a reinsurance conglomerate's marketing fucking tool. You know how I know this? Because I've worked with them and I've done the same damn thing.
He works in reinsurance.
Well, I appreciate your comments, Brad. I'll let everyone in the room look at it and decide whether you're the retard or I am. People can read it.
Right, tell them how you really feel.
Hey, Heckema, don't get into a car accident until you're driving your fucking Uber.
Like, all you have to do is just go look up. It's Swiss Re, which is a reinsurance company. What is a reinsurance company? They're the backers for large-scale losses, large markets.
Right. If you're going to go other room, get the fuck in that other room. I don't listen to this shit.
Well, then I guess you're gonna be by all yourselves with Ape, and you guys can talk about AI and Poe.
Which is why Medicare for all wouldn't really work, because again, all those people on Capitol Hill saying we need Medicare for all don't fucking understand insurance, because that company exists along with millions of others for the very reason to back up large-scale insurance companies. So when Geico gets a massive hit in a quarter or a year, Swiss Re comes in and says, "Hey, you know those premiums you've been paying for us? We're going to cover you so you don't feel
Hurrah! Brad, I got a question from the Leprechaun Gallery. When are you gonna pay Diogenes his $1,000 fucking dollars, Brad?
This is what happens on Clubhouse, and I hate it all the time. People fucking cherry pick shit they have no knowledge of doing, and then say, "Here's my fucking proof," and you can read it in the chat, and then you look at it, and you're it's just
So, Brad, I mean, you, at best, you have...
Oh, look, it's Agent Malone. Double Agent Malone.
I like TikTok like it's spicy.
So maybe you can say...
Tell him that he liked to kick
his argument a bit more, but you haven't in no way actually attacked his argument.
Double Agent Malone.
Anything contrary. Any counter.
Neo in the Matrix.
So his evidence is a marketing catalog from Swiss Re. That's his evidence that self-driving cars are going to be the future, and they're safer and everything else. And he put that up there. And yes, we did take, there is data that holds a Post Malone stretch and again wrapped around to make fucking dipshits like him buy into this idea that there's going to be this market, because guess what? There isn't a huge market share. And the reinsurance companies see an opportunity.
Okay, I can't even listen to this anymore. I can't even fucking listen to this stupidity anymore. I hate them all. I fucking hate them all, and that's why I hate them all.
You realize that since we last spoke on another bet where I've taken money from the Jews and already been paid in Bitcoin, but I need you to help troll El Normo with me, because that motherfucker legitimately owes me $150.
Yeah, you ain't never getting paid. You still don't even pay me for my Adrian Dittman work.
Anti-Semitic talk for you to say that he's never going to get his money because the guy knows when he's a Jew. Come on, man.
Dude, all I've done is call him a tricky fucking Jew. Actually, I'm somewhat disappointed and yet impressed that I have not been fucking sick yet. Just 100% I've been reported for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a miracle that you're still on here. I think it's probably because you're the only Irishman on the app. They're like, we got to have some equity for these Irish fucking leprechaun midgets.
That's right.
All right, it's been fun trolling you, laughing at your little disability being a leprechaun and all, even though you can maybe do a little bit of coding and some platform making and search engine optimizing. I've got to go on with me ways and go to the gym and get my schwitz on. I've got a date with a plastic surgeon tonight. She's a beautiful Hindu dindu.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah, I made a reservation at an Indian restaurant, and she says she's a vegetarian, so we're going to find out just how vegetarian this Indian restaurant is.
She's shorter or taller than 5'3"?
She says she's 5'5", and I mean, she looks okay, but I'm pretty sure she has fake teeth. I wouldn't be surprised if she's done facial modification. She is vaxxed. But she's, you know, I believe that sex and love and relationships is 99% geographic.
and I'm the laziest person in the world, so I could never ever have a long distance relationship. I'm basically like, if you're outside of my 15-minute radius, like there will be no orgasm, so let's not waste our time. Very pragmatic about my orgasm making.
What generation Hindu is she?
She's actually born in India, but went to dental school in India and then went to Boston University, I guess, to do like an accelerated dental program. And now she does like, maxillofacial dental surgery or whatever. But I mean,
so she still got the accent and she's still aggressive.
See, there's a balance because she's not that beautiful, but she is a doctor. So like that smooths out, the rough edges. But again, it's mostly a geographic proximity thing. And a lot of people are in denial about geographic proximity when it comes to relationships. Some people, they're very lazy and, they're not doing dating, and a lot of losers on this app, they just talk on this app. They don't want to go to a bar. They don't want to talk to people in the real world. They just come here to have their gay little conversations with gay black men that, are gay and fabulous. That's their entertainment because they refuse to try to meet men to have relationships, or men that refuse to have relationships with women. The point is, you have to have a fine balance between beauty, intelligence, success. But, as T-Robs knows, the moment she licks me arsehole, she's dead to me.
Obsessed with me.
El Normo really liked it when I was making fun of you. And he was like, you were on fire. You were on fire.
Yeah, that fucking faggot. Louis, what the fuck is this you're doing? Unreliable sourcing.
Hey, I've got a question.
No. Questions at the end.
What the fuck are you pulling my head guy into? Motherfucker.
No, I was just I put the link into Gemini.
So what we have right now, Brad, is the latest update is the basis for self-driving cars coming out to every Tesla by Christmas 2016 and forward. And
see, you're not allowed to name the
it's here, and it's pretty exciting to go door to door, have a car that can find its own parking place, that can go from my driveway to the destination, because if it's a self-driving.
The moment she licked me arsehole, she was dead to me. But then I fucked her anyways, and we had up sweaty sex. And as I was making out with her, I thought, what's that? Is that the cashew I had for lunch? It's the next level game.
Anderson, what did you go by previously?
Lots of things.
Now, when we were in the rooms with Prashant and that hot little blonde chick with the Australian
accent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. T-Robs or Tim.
Yeah, Tim, that's right. I was trying to remember.
Mr. 1984. What the hell was your... What? Did you lose your account or what?
No, I just got a new phone and
And you're angry and someone pissed on your Cheerios today.
Over the old one.
It doesn't make it not true.
It's just
You really do sound angry. No, I'm not angry. It's Christmas.
Pointing out.
I think there's so much more.
Black crime statistics.
You have all of this shit going on right now. A lot of people are going to face the new year. Maybe it's going to change. There's going to be all of these things. And up here is an idiot posting marketing research from a fucking reinsurance company.
I understand that research is wrong.
The Tesla fucking cheerleader with pom-poms and fake boobies. And then you got the Canadian. Like, literally, there's so much going on. Trudeau has to resign. He faces massive backlash. The economic situation and factors in Canada are like a little bit going concerning.
We actually talk about that in other rooms. It's not like we're sitting here just talking about that. Okay?
Yeah,
we talk about it all day
Go
long.
ahead and get your sex robot and your automated car, and you know what? Thank you. I can't wait for progress because some of you guys, I understand why you can't find women. I absolutely.
Hey, Brad, Christian is racist.
Okay, why are you guys?
Not for me, but for personally.
Why are you guys like? I'm confused. Why are you guys personal attacking each other?
I'm not.
Who said some of you can't get laid or get a woman? That's a personal attack, Brad. Let them be.
I said some of these guys, but if you want to take it as a personal insult,
No, not me.
please,
To
Merry
them.
Christmas and
To
Happy
them.
Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Kwanzaa, whatever you want to
I
say.
have multiple partners, Brad. I'm saying it's a personal attack to those men.
If the shoe, like, listen, hit hose will holler. So if the shoe fits, wear it. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. Like, if Hakeem says, Brad, you're a white guy. Duh, I'm a white guy. If I go up to Hakeem and I say, he's a black guy. He's a black guy. If I go to Paul and say, Paul, you're a northerner, he's going to go, duh, I am. Like, you can call
Brad,
it
do you want to do 2 minutes meditation as a group?
No.
Deep breath in. Deep breathe out. Deep breathe in. Deep breathe out.
You gotta do the Om a little bit more for the diaphragm.
Why don't you take the lead, King? You do the O.
Why? Because my name?
No, because you said I'm doing it wrong. If you know how to do it correctly, why don't you do it?
It's supposed to be Om like that.
Okay, then do it.
Why? Does everyone want me to do it in the room?
Yes, we're doing a 2 minutes meditation.
You just sound like Eddie Murphy on Golden Child. Okay.
Based. So I have 100, so Brad will probably like this. I have 100 emails from employees of mine that are on Navy contracts saying, holy shit, Joe Biden just signed an executive order saying Christmas Eve is now considered a federal holiday. I'm putting in holiday time. I said, well, hold on a second. Your contract only shows 11 federal holidays. Well, it says below that contractors are required to provide their employee. So I reached out to the contracting officers. They all say denied. We won't allow you to amend your contract for the extra holiday. So now you got to pay. That's how the government's.
We're hearing you. You're breaking in and
I don't
out.
understand how you guys are in Matrix in America. Do you guys have like?
Yes.
I have an Osama phone, and it causes these problems.
So we did hear the gist of what you said, that by executive order, Christmas Eve is a federal holiday. Now, if the government's shut down, your contract workers are not working, right?
Correct, but here's the thing, right? Because it's considered a federal holiday, and so when Trump did this in 2019, right, he put a clause in the executive order saying that contracts will be amended for contractors. So in other words, my company would get paid for the 12th federal holiday. So I can allow my employees to take off, not a problem, and I'll get paid for it. In this case,
there was no, and all the liaisons to the White House that spoke to the commands where I do business. I'm not going to name them all, obviously, but basically those those liaisons all said there's no intention from the White House to put that in to the executive order. So basically, contractors are screwed. The contracting companies are screwed, but contract employees must be given a paid day off. But I didn't put that in my bid, and I didn't put that in my contract because the federal government said there was only 11 federal holidays. And so I get screwed thanks to good old Joe, parting shot, right? But yes, if they're furloughed, but some of my guys are mission essential guys, like they do HM&E work on ships and stuff like that. So a lot of my guys will still be able to work because they're considered mission essential.
So wait, was this just for federal contractors or a general declaration that this is unofficial?
Check it out. I think you can Google it. Let me tell you the exact executive order. Hold on. It's the executive order. Give it to me. But I think it pertains to federal employees. And hold on, let me just open up the email. What the hell is it? Yeah, okay. It is Executive Order 11582, granting December 24th, 2024 as a federal holiday. Just Google it. Executive Order 11582.
Joe Biden going out with a bang. I like this.
Yeah, but that's not good. You're screwing small business owners.
Helping workers.
Yeah, federal workers are getting out. I mean, the same thing Donald Trump did in 2019. Exact same thing, except for
Eat you with a stick.
Did you say with the steak? Did you say with the steak?
Stick. Because yesterday I told him I'll slap you. He's like, I'll like that. So now I'm telling him I'm gonna hit him with a stick.
I might like that too, Sarah. Come on, let's find out.
So, King, that EO was actually filed by Richard Nixon in 71. He just filed an amendment on it, adding on December 24th, because they already had December 25th in there, so he added an extra day. I mean, I'm a state employee, so for me, like, if that applies to me, I get a whole extra holiday. I'm not gonna. Oh God, Hakima, please don't restart this self-driving car debate, please.
Oh no, I have none to add on self-driving cars.
Yeah, we're not talking about self-driving cars. We moved on.
We're talking about fascism right now. The people.
Oh, okay. I think fascism is a more interesting
Justice
topic
for
to think.
Schnelly.
Paul, have you seen the Neo Grenadier? This is my kind of car, since we're going to do cars. But look it up. It is basically the old style Land Rover Defender, but stripped out of all the computers. It is not, like it's got core on the floor, brand new, off the line. I'm like, I think I might be in love. No computers. There's some.
I'm in love once again.
It's old school. It's great in an old school way.
I'm driving my Subaru until the engine falls out and explodes. So everybody can get
Just a car with a Subaru.
Can someone ping Marshall, please?
Marshall Rankin.
Last night, so I couldn't have a conversation with him, but I want to know why he called me a white woman.
Are you white? Marshall late at night. He is forgiven.
No, I'm not. And
What
he
was
said
it?
it multiple times. No, I'm not.
Do you consider Middle
Go by DNA, I'm not white though.
Right. I'm just curious.
No, I've done a 23andMe.
No,
and
I'm curious.
I'm 100% Asian. I'm actually North African, Indian, Pakistani.
That's Caucasian. Hate to tell
I
you.
don't get it, but I'm 100% Asian. North Asia, South Asia, Central, yeah, and North Africa. So, but I want to know why he called me a white woman.
I'm sure he'll come in and tell you.
I just need someone to ping him.
And I know Marshall, if he's wrong, he'll apologize. I think he just made a quick peek at your PTR and decided. I don't think he really knows any of our nationalities, right?
He didn't know we were joking. Hakima called me a fascist. And then the title above opened up, and then he told me, I don't know. He just says stupid things.
Yeah, Paul, it's funny. We have to basically pay for shit that works.
I mean, at that price point, I might as well go buy an old, like, 80s Land Rover and just redo it myself.
I just pulled up the website, and they're offering 2.9% financing for 6 months and $2,000 in OEM parts or accessories. Accessories.
So the 2.9%, that's an intro APR, and then they're probably going to jack it up to 7 or 8% after the intro here.
Apparently, the guy who built this was really upset at the fact that Range Rover now you have to buy 2 of them because they're always in the shop. So if you want a Range Rover or Land Rover, you have to buy 2. So, you have the spare to drive while you're.
It was definitely.
I love the fact that someone said, you know what, enough with all this shit. It costs too much. It's too expensive. I hate the price tag like you, but I mean, I can fix pretty much everything on here in my own driveway.
And that's your best argument, too. I mean, anything with a chip in it, you're talking to the dealer, and that's it's never good.
The modern Land Rovers are basically glorified Ford Explorers. They are cheap.
Hakima, if you're not black, what are you?
Have you ever seen somebody with black skin before?
Have I seen what?
A person with black skin.
Have I seen black skin?
Yeah, have you seen anyone with black skin before?
No. Shades of brown.
So why would I call myself black?
Oh, come on. You know what? Okay, so that's why you don't call yourself black. That makes sense.
I want to know where it came from. It's a weird term to describe a person.
Well, it's like me saying I'm not Persian. There's no Persia, but Iranians, they call themselves Persian. So, but I get what you mean. I agree with you. We got shades of brown. We got shades of brown, and that's why I get mad at people saying I'm white, because there's more than white and black. There are different shades in there. Asians are absolutely not white.
And
it's not even white.
It's more like a peach type of,
We have olive, we have light brown, we have dark brown. So what Hakima says is absolutely correct. We don't have black skin, and I agree with that. And I don't even like that.
In America, black is a status. It basically means a loss of rights. You don't have any rights. It's like it falls under the category of the
With this
Latin
part
phrase.
of what you say, I don't agree.
It's not about agreeing. It's a fact. But it falls under the category.
It's not about agreeing. It's about a fact.
As of the law. I would not classify it as being dead and as of the law.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case, right? Because there's absolutely no support for that. But just really quickly before the topic, there's no though. So the Land Rover is notorious, from what I understand, having electrical problems. And this is actually from the horse's mouth. I guess one of my clients, their friend, oversees the Chinese plants that do chips for Land Rovers, and they themselves said they would never buy a Land Rover because it has so many electrical.
Well, that's comforting. Sounds like offshoring is really doing wonders for our product quality control.
That's fine, but you know, like with any kind of appliance, you gotta stick with first world countries, South Korea, Japan.
So I was chatting with my IT guy yesterday. Like we were discussing sort of future. If Trump starts putting in place tariffs, how are we going to start sourcing our cheap IT stuff? And we were talking about the offshoring trend. And what he said was Intel is potentially going to start looking for a buyout next year because they missed the boat on AI chips. So if you're looking for cheap Intel stuff, you might want to wait 6 months, and then you can grab that when it goes on super discount soon.
You mean the computer chips?
Yeah.
Are they still even in the game? I thought AMD completely kind of destroyed
Didn't Intel get a huge subsidy? Like they're part of the chip plan.
They did.
Lots of money.
They did, and they're still going to be looking for a buyout next year because they still can't.
Solyndra. Fucking way to go.
I mean, this is the way it goes. Intel missed the boat 5 years ago on AI chips, and now they're screwed. So let's just dump another $5 billion in there, and we can nationalize them.
Jesus Christ! What a quagmire!
Yeah, I'm just looking it up real quickly. Yeah, they're the biggest. They're the largest one that got the most money out of the CHIPS Act. So, and it was going to be all of this in a bag of chips. And I hate this. I say it all the time. Roger said it. Paul said it. Sometimes when the federal government, a lot of the times, messes in with the economy and does this shit, you know that it's just going to end badly. And inevitably always is.
Well, I mean, I've been working for government for almost 10 years, and very rarely have I seen them taking over a private sector, business and running it well. It generally seems like a shit show. The reason the Chinese produce stuff so cheaply is because they have such high government subsidies and such low labor costs that they can basically produce things for free at this point and get away with it.
And they have no respect for intellectual property, so they can just steal the shit and recreate it.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, most of the Chinese self-driving vehicles, their software was originally an IP ripoff of what Elon was experimenting with in Shanghai back in 2019, and they just went in and stole the software, upgraded it slightly, and then rolled it out.
But they never do it quite as well. And actually, in his plant, and I'm not saying that they haven't had stuff stolen and they have had to sue certain people when it's egregious, but those people in Shanghai make the highest quality Teslas with the least defects at the highest rate. They are half of Tesla's profit and production at one plant.
God. Well, that's great.
Tesla actually owns that building. It's the first time that Chinese allowed American company to come in and actually own the property, not the land under it, but the building itself.
My understanding is that Tesla is not a well-built car. People sit there and go, "Oh, it's got the technological advance," and they sometimes like their performance, which I can't figure out why. But when you look at the overall complaints on the build qualities and the quality of the car itself, they're shit. I laugh at people who buy them, and I'm like, man.
Well, that's 3 or 4 year old information. I mean, obviously, they have a reputation for that, and especially in 2018, when he was just trying to stay afloat and wasn't making money, a lot of that was happening, but there's been a lot of improvement since then, too. I'm going to say this, and I'll shut up. 82% of Tesla owners would buy it again. They have one of the highest owner loyalty of any product.
We're gonna vote.
I've seen pictures from people who bought Cybertrucks where they're already rusting out and they're having issues with the engines like dying off.
Engines, yes, rust is not happening. It's actually airborne particles that land and look like rust on the stainless steel and can be washed off. But yeah, they are redoing a lot of the engines. And the first generation of any new vehicle, I'm not making excuses. I mean, there are Cybertruck problems, and I wouldn't buy one. But they're not rusting, no.
Really? Because I've seen lots of pictures on social media of people showing rust spots that do not rinse off. I've seen quite a few of them.
Right, they don't rinse off, but you can wash them off.
And here's the other thing, Paul. Like, when you sit there and look and say, hey, you know what? I need a pickup truck. Now, I get it. I see a lot of them down here in Texas. I'm actually shocked. Paul, you would laugh your ass off. There are a lot of people who drive pickup trucks that are waxed, polished, and not a speck of dust on them. And they drive these massive pickup trucks, and they have these giant dinner plates and buckles, and they've got these boots that are shined that have never seen grass, let alone a
It's status. Yeah, it's a status.
Yeah, and but when I look at these, and I actually have driven through other parts of Texas, and I see what guys do to trucks. I know what they do in Alaska. I know what they do up north when you work with these. The last thing is like the guy out there. He's not going to go out there and for his feet if he's working. And I have spent $300-400 on a pair of boots for work. I'm sure a lot of other guys have. But you're not going to sit there and buy a electric truck that can barely tow underweight, under strength, maintain that function as much as a gas or a diesel, and they just don't function. I just kind of laugh when people say Cybertruck is good.
Towing is a problem for all electric vehicles. It's true.
But you also cannot fit shit in it. Like I saw a couple of guys like trying to fit in some lumber in it at Lowe's. So it looks stupid. I mean, they can't even, really use it for the purpose that it's supposedly made for.
With the angular design of the bed and the high side rails, it's hard to work out of that truck.
Yeah, so like Ford, Andre, you'll love this. Ford CEO or exec teams or whatever were trying to do it. Our Ford Lightning pickup can drive across the country. He couldn't finish the trip.
Of course.
They had to cancel. They couldn't do it, and he had to have it, and he had a team around him, and he still couldn't do it.
That's because of the lack of infrastructure for electric
charging. I'm excited about, and it's still because it's rumor mill, because a lot of the specs haven't dropped and no one's seen it yet, is the International Scout. That fucker under Volkswagen, which I have reserves because, again, it's Volkswagen. But if that Scout gets the range it's saying 500 to 700 miles, it has a gas-powered generator to recharge it, and it has the ability to charge it in under 10 minutes. Now, that's a game changer. That means you're not sitting there spending 10 hours charging a vehicle.
It's on a new platform, and I was on one of the local consumer marketing teams. We saw images, we compared them to other vehicles and gave them advice. That is much better looking than a Rivian. It's going to be cheaper and more functional, and I'm looking forward to that vehicle too.
I mean, that's fair, but honestly, like, I'm not planning to give up my 1500 Ram, and I'm looking to expand to 2500, and I don't think there's inside any electrical pickup truck that can.
I think right. They're going to make a hybrid version. The Volkswagen. I think there's 3 versions of it, and it's a good-looking car inside as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. When I was buying my truck, Chevy, and it seems like Chevy is just basically it's beautiful, it's leather, it's luxury, and you don't even want to get it dirty. Ford is like full on like labor. Like it has all the horsepower you need, but it's kind of square inside and very outdated. And Ram is like a perfect mix of two. So I get myself a nice Ram.
Please refund, thanks.
So the funny thing is, Alaska doesn't have any billionaires at all. Our richest guy, I think, is worth like $300 million from real estate development. that guy, everybody knows him in town because he still drives the same beat up 88 Ford F-150 he's been driving for the last like 35 or 40 years. And that guy still hauls stuff off to construction sites in downtown. So like,
hell yeah, that's what you gotta do. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the old ones are better. I drive my 2006 and 7 Ford Vans. They're a hell of a lot better than the new ones. And I'm happy with them.
Dude, like the Laramie that I got is like perfect. Like it's nice and luxurious inside. Like I can take my family on vacation in it, and I can fit whatever I need in the back. You know, and whenever I go to like a site, I can pop in whatever sheets of drywall, plywood, lumber that I need. It's perfect.
So Brad, that Scout's only $65,000. That's a better price point than Rivian, and because that's really good. Like that's if it was maybe $15,000 cheaper, I would debate turning in my Subaru.
And it's better looking. They might make one at a lower price
It's not the looks that people are going to look at. Like again, the Ford Bronco was a good looking car. People clamored to it until it turned into shit. The Tesla, which is why, yeah, you have brand loyalty, but you have brand loyalty with Ford, Chevy, GM, Subaru, Jeep. I'm a long time, 20 fucking years Jeep. So or 30 years Jeep, like whatever it is. I've been driving that. I've never owned anything else except for other cars for like my wife and things at the time. So, I'm going to tell you, like, the brand loyalty, that means absolutely nothing to me. What it means is the product. And so what this test will be is, can it do what it's saying? The 500 to 700 mile range. That's pretty good. It's an SUV. Can it hold up to the north? Can it hold and last in the cold? Is the generator, in a position to be great? Does the batteries, are they like, under the driver's seat and going to explode? Those are concerns. And, but it'll be interesting to see. And
can I stop you? An ICE car is 8 times more likely to catch on fire or explode than a internal combustion engine is having 8 times more fires than any electric car. So please stop with that.
Really? Because apparently you don't live up in the north. Really? You don't see them all the time. I guess those don't go through. But again, most people in the north who go through blizzards, winters, shit that, normal weather, they're not driving Teslas. They a lot of the Tesla owners up north.
But just stop at the fires. Pick a fire truck. That's all I'm saying.
Finish before you jump off. Like what they have are people that buy a Tesla to drive in summer as if it's a status symbol, and then they buy another winter car to get them through the winter. Again, please spare me because I see the Teslas. I've seen them on the roads. I've seen them on fire. I've seen people dead inside them because they froze to death. You are not telling me something that's freaking great. And yes, I see.
Yeah, that's all one person's observation.
Okay.
It's a universe of one.
I love people in California designing cars and thinking they're some fucking, introvert, and they've never actually taken any of these vehicles into a place where the rest of the country lives. Fucking outstanding.
Well, to David's
No, they were never tested in Alaska or up north, never at all. That's right.
To David's point, 94% of Norway is EV now. So they will withstand cold. And the fire, and he is correct on the fire incidence rate. The fire incident rate in ICE vehicles is greater. Though, Brad, I will agree with you. The degradation of batteries and battery performance once you get below 32 degrees Fahrenheit it's actually 37 degrees Fahrenheit is significant.
Actually, it starts at 40 and 50, and it's about 10 to 20%. And that's the physics of a lithium-ion battery. Batteries don't hold as much energy in the cold, and it comes back in warm weather.
Right, which will change when we have solid state, when we get to the 3rd generation of batteries, which we already have now. But when we get to solid state batteries, that will greatly change.
So wait, what happened to the billions of dollars that Toyota and Honda dumped into hydrogen fuel cell development? Is that just like wasted money?
That's wasted money because there's no place. Shell had 8 places in California to recharge them, and those are gone. So those cars are on the used car market market in a certain reseller for $5,000 each, because there's about one place you can buy hydrogen to refuel them. And the reason they did that is the Japanese government is pushing hydrogen for some reason, and they appeased and they got money from the Japanese government to develop hydrogen as a fuel source. But even the infrastructure, you can't just run hydrogen through a gas line. It has to be totally separate, and the risk of explosion is crazy as far as even when you're fueling. So in certain applications, I think for other industries, it actually has potential, but it's not going to work in its current form.
It works for busing. It works for busing. It won't work for cars. It costs too much for us to build. A charger costs us about $125,000 to $200,000 to build. A hydrogen station is about $2 million.
Yeah.
So it's cost effectiveness doesn't make sense.
So the answer is yes. I think what you said, it is a folly for automobiles.
Okay, guys, Marshall is here. Can I have a conversation with Marshall? Hi, Marshall.
Sure, you can wave at him and go to a back room.
Yeah, dude, let's talk about
No,
that
no, no.
privately.
That's why I want to ask him here. Marshall, you called me white last